for me. I'm not the same. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I'm taking back my life. All you did was use it. You break it, you lose it. Sorry, your time is up. Now I'm coming back to life. I'm taking back my love. Sorry, your time is up. Now I'm coming back to life. Now I'm coming back to life.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope boys are having a wonderful, beautiful day. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back, boys. Welcome back. Dude, am I the only one who enjoyed, like, legitimately enjoyed that song just now? Am I the only one, dude? Yo, this was actually quite a lot of fun. Actually, such a good song. How you boys all doing? Welcome back, welcome back. I woke up super late, so sorry if I look a little disheveled. But that's okay. What else is new, right? Dalaran overslept. What else is new? Dalaran staying up until 7 in the morning working the video. What else is new? Zdarova. Как дела всем? Well, hello, boys. How y'all doing? I like how the stream has turned into like half Russian, half English. Like as soon as the duels are up, I'm literally like bouncing back and forth, dude. It's not something I intended on doing, but yo, with the Russian boys hanging out in chat, creeping you out of here, dude. With the Russian boys hanging out of here, dude. I gotta put you guys all out here, man. Is it PTR Duels? Today is PTR Duels. Hopefully the title has it conveyed fairly okay. There's a PTR in there. If you guys think I can improve on it somehow, make it even more obvious, let me know, man. Let me know. Let me post this right here. Join Duels on PTR today. Here we go. So now we're gonna pin that and we're good. How y'all doing? Let me get that song back in there, dude. This song was like, it sounds like your OG dubstep songs, man. You know what I mean? Like it got the wubs, like OG old wubs, dude. Like this is like early 2000s, and I actually kind of like it. It's almost like it's a new song, but it's almost like it pays homage to the original dubsteppy wubs. You know what I mean? It's actually kind of cool. I actually can't say that I hate it. Alrighty, boys. Let's get us some 5V5 1V1 DUELS over today on the PTR. PTR is the public test realm. Everybody and anybody is welcome to join us over on the PTR. Anybody can join in, boys. What's up, Trueness? How you doing, my man? Buddy, you watch. How you doing, my guy? Arhio, Zdorova, Madruk, Dela Madruk, Arhi. Zdorova. Hello. What's up, Mood? How you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a good one, my man. Gotta have some fun, man. Gotta have some fun with the duels. We didn't get a big update for PvP stuff this week. We got some Demon Hunter survivability things, which I don't think is gonna make that big change in PvP. I think the leech extra outside of meta might help them a little more. It goes from like 5% leech to 10. Doubles the amount of healing it provides, but like, I don't know if it's gonna be enough. I do like that when you drop below, I think 35% health, you automatically activate blur. Now blur is gonna be 50% duration, but also 50% of the CD. So it's going to be half the blur of CD, which is I think a minute. So it's going to be like a 30-second blur to get back. So technically every 30 seconds you could have like a mini defensive with a 50%, like I think it's 30% DR, 50% dodge, which could be pretty good in some situations. I think most people are going to end up playing Leech still or the immunity with Netherwalk. But yeah, both of those look good, man. Both of those look really good. I do think they need maybe with gear they'll just end up doing more damage, and with more damage they'll also have better survivability. Hello Dalaran, what's up Sam? How you doing, fam? Hope you're having a good one. How you doing? I saw Alex trying to put a group together for 5V5 1s over in PTR, so we'll see how that goes. Let me switch it over to PTR real quick. But otherwise, we're good to go, boys and girls. Otherwise, we're good to go. Let's see if we get groups, man. Because I know Alex is trying to put one together. Do we have a second one, though? Maybe Atha trying to set one up on Alliance as well. Chicago, potentially. Chill Pills, does he want to pop in? Test out more of that Frost DK? We'll see, we'll see. We'll just try to have some fun. I really was hoping that Blizzard would add even more on the talents, because I feel like there's still some on the talents that are like I think Shadowlands barely got anything new, did they? They got the Void Eruption, which is like questionable how good it's gonna be. Aloha 4 out of 5. Awesome, awesome. What's up, Vicky? How you doing, fam? Hope you're having a good one. 4 out of 5 for Alex, and we will see if we can get a second group up and running. Hey, chat. Hello, hello. We'll see if we can get one up and running. Yesterday we tried to get a group together for PTR. We could only get like 3 people for Alliance on Team Atha, but I don't really know if it'll be the same today. Hopefully we'll get more. Hopefully we'll have some fun, because I've been enjoying the PTR duels a lot. Chrysler and Atha both wanted to play the Necrolord Paladin for Atha, because he actually been legitimately enjoying it, which I am glad that he is, dude. I'm glad he's finding some viability in it. I think it's awesome. And then Chrysler said you want to try a Drain Life build, which, by the way, I've been testing out a bunch of builds over with the Covenant stuff, trying out the Covenant Legendaries. And you know how at first I said that Covenant Legends really seem all that good? There might be some viable builds, a lot of fun builds, but there are some strong builds that are coming out of it. Kyrian Warrior, you all know how good that is in PvP, but imagine Kyrian Warrior dominating in Mythic Pluses, dominating in raids as arms. I guess Fury could work too, but arms particularly. 2 out of 5 for Atha, man. Struggle to get peeps. It's all good. Boys, if you want to join us over in PTR for the 5v5 1v1 duels, all you have to do is go to LFG as Alliance or Horde on PTR servers. Doesn't really matter. Premier group, custom PvP, find a group, and you'll find one for Horde 5v5 1v1 duels with Chrysler, Alex. We got ourselves Seavark in there for the Horde team, and you got one on Alliance with Atha, man. You guys are more than welcome. Most people left WoW because there's nothing to do till 9.1. I do agree with you. There's not a lot to do with 9.1. I mean, I've been gearing the alts up and running. I've been getting alts up and running. I got my priest trying to gear them out, trying to collect some soul ash before 9.1 stuff. Like, is there something to do? Yes, but a lot of that stuff to do is mostly in preparation for 9.1. One thing that I did notice, though, there's still a lot of people raiding. A lot of people still trying to get 4 out of 5 perfect Atha. We just did one for both teams, I think, and we're good to go. Full? Let's go, Atha! Alex just needs one more, and we'll be good to go. Oh, yo, I like... Can I just add the song to the mix, by the way? I like this song. I don't know why. I feel like it's a pretty good one to drop into our duels, dude. I don't know what about this song I like, but I just like the beat, I guess. It's like progressive. It progresses forward, does something different. Is that what you would call progressive beat? I'm guessing, dude. I used to be into music too. Used to be in band, dude. Walking around marching band with a saxophone, big old hat. You guys wouldn't believe it. Wouldn't believe it. Hello, what's up, Broton? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one, my dude. We just need one more on for ASUS team, and we're good to go. But yo, I've been enjoying TBC quite a bit, actually. I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm probably not going to like TBC that much. I've been playing with guildies and I've been having a lot of fun. But also, made of bases. What's up, my dude? Base? Hell yeah, dude. Do you know how to do the plucks and the slaps? Because, yo, while not metal, I still think one of the best bases was the guy with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't know if he still plays with them or not, but that guy is insane. Just the riffs he can... I don't even know, dude. Like, how does he do... Like, how does he do that? Because the strings for a bass guitar are so thick. And it's not like you pluck it with a pick. Not really. You kind of just use your fingers. And the guy just... Flea? Yeah, dude. Flea. Honestly, I don't care. You can be a fan of any genre, but you gotta have respect for that guy if you're into bass. Alrighty, boys. Do we switch to the mix? I also like this song for some reason. I don't know why. Alrighty. We got ourselves groups up and running. Let's go, boys. Yeah, I didn't remember his name. Thank you for letting me know. Flea. Like, that's... He's so, like, hyper on the stage, too. I guess almost in a sense reminds me of, like, Steve-O. Like, with a shaved head and whatnot. He's just all over the place, all over the stage, dude. You know that guy's something. 100%, dude. There's, I mean, unless it's just like pure passion emanating from him. Gotta be on something. I mean, the music was made during the generation where, I guess it depends when you look at 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Everybody were on something to make the music they did. Everybody had a, there was always a poison behind it all. There was always a poison behind it all, is what I'm saying. Alrighty, boys. Switch. Kobrak, huh? Kobrak, huh? What are you? That's not real Kobrak, right? Come on. That's not the real Kobrak. Please, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. Kobrak doesn't play WoW. Please. It looks exactly the same with the same mog. Don't give me hope. Who did this? Which one of you is it? Hogman? Okay, this is Seawark. This is Chrysler. This is Broton. We got ourselves Christina as well as Arhi. There's just no way, dude. How dare you? How dare you? It did make him look exactly the same though. Jesus Christ, the likeness is uncanny. Wow. Everything, head to toe. Maybe not the staff. I don't know if Kobe ever used that staff. Going to be watching first up on the other team. Succubus CC as soon as the opener happens. Big Cataclysm coming down. You watch, he's stuck in place. He's going to walk out of the tether, but does so much damage. Massive self-heal for you watching for a second. Is going to trick it out of that Mortal Coil. Trying to see if he can set up onto Chrysler. Big old Shadow Star's coming out. Does go for a vanish. Does he have the 100% crit Lego for it? He did vanish very, very aggressively just now. Tried to go for a bit of a flash guide himself. Kobrak. We're gonna call him Kobrak, but we know this isn't Kobrak, okay? We know this isn't Kobrak, but we're gonna call him Kobrak. I do like the roleplay. I do like the cosplay. It looks really, really good. Yo, watch is setting up a couple different blades. Continuing chain stuns onto Kobrak. Try to see if we can just chain out of those fears. Gonna be a big old drain life for Kobe. I think, is he playing drain life build now? It looked like he had a really quick drain. Like a very fast drain. Yo, watch, it does go for a Cloak of Shadows to immune. That Chaos Bolt. Trying to deal with the damage of a Warlock. It's going to send out the Succubus from one end. Mortal Coil into Yuwachi from the other side. Oh, Yuwachi's the last one on the team. Big drains coming out for Kobe. As he is maintaining himself at full health. It's actually looking quite healthy. Big old spike coming out for Yuwachi yet again. Trying to see if he can deal with the damage. He is going to go for cheap shots to again CC chain Kobe in his damage. Oh no. Yeah, Cobra can play Drain live, dude. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Okay. Big old damage. Big old execute from Kolb himself. So apparently, Kobrak will call him. Not the real one, of course. Definitely not Chrysler or anything. Is playing the Drain Life Legendary, where Drain Life sucks up faster, sucks up the life out of the enemy faster, and it heals you faster. So a single Drain can just give him a lot of self-healing, which could be an interesting Legendary in the long run. Gonna be Bonzafel over on the Hunter as Kiosku is gonna go for a big old harpoon. Does have to break the tether, taking a bit of damage, going for them kill shots onto Kobe himself. Gonna be a big haze buff for Kobe. Actually, not a haze buff. It's going to be the crit buff. So technically could get a lot more healing out of it. Freeze the trap to stop the healing of Kobrak for the time being. Continue to drain life as much as it can. Look at the amount of healing he gets. Silence off of the sting. The chimeric poison. The drain just continued to heal him the whole time. That's insane. It's going to go for the Soul Rod. Feign Death for Koska, who probably is running the Feign Death Lego. Does remove all the dots of himself. Kobrak maintaining himself for the time being. Big drain life is available. Just maintaining his health the whole time. Koska having to go for Freeze the Trap just to stop him from healing himself. And it's gonna go for a bit of a reset. Gonna be a big old Succubus CC. Kobrak can't set up a big old Bonzafel with a Cataclysm, maybe even a Chaos Bolt. That's gonna be Koska who's gonna have to walk at him. Does feign death to break the tether. And Kobrak does walk by next to the statue for a second. I don't think he takes damage, but I believe that the Succubus might have taken damage from the statue of Kyosuke. But that's 2 people down. Look at the soul fields. The game is so broken. Yo, this is a legendary that no one ever plays, boys. Nobody ever plays this. So I do like seeing something new. Danger is going to be up next over on the team 2. Looking very green today. And more green than usual. It's going to go for a Succubus build of his own with a Shavara, going for Shadow Bolts, quick bolts to get himself lots of health, lots of cast. Swapping out to the Felguard instead. Is he not playing the Shadow build? He might actually have to play the Shadow build against, or Felguard build against Cobrak. It's going to be a Succubus CC by the looks of it. Onto Danger, trying to get a turn up and running either way. Kolb hanging down below, does have all these pets on him, could always go for a port any moment, has himself mobility with a soul shape, and just trying to see if he can bail out of there. Big old Kazbal getting set up on the pet, trying to kill the pet. Is he trying to kill the main pet or the actual summon pet? Actually gonna soul rot all those pets. Kobrak, oh, he does nuke down the main pet. Danger is gonna be a little bit behind. Without having a main pet, does he swap pets out? Is he has his extra Felguard, more to cause exchange with the, of course, the real Cobb. Bonzafell getting set up with a Cataclysm. Danger, is he going to walk out of it? Try to see if he can Void Elf out. The Fury is still going to break that tether. It looks like he doesn't take the damage. Stayed in the Bonzafell long enough to not break the tether. I think if you stand in the middle of it, especially if you have a slow on you, if you get feared out of the middle, out of the center, you won't really ever be able to make it to the outer edge to proc it. So you can actually immune the damage just by not going anywhere. As long as there's no Mortar Coil. Or as long as you have a slow on you or something. Danger does go for a full flash cut. Fear onto Kobrak is going to try to see if he can chain some fears back to him. And Kolb trying to get himself yet another Cataclysm in there. Still no pet for Danger. That's the problem. Danger does need to get himself a full pet at some point. He just tried to see if he can play without one. Bonzafell onto Danger with a Mortal Coil. Does get hit with a slow. The Mortal Coil does walk him out of Bonzafell. Takes a bit of damage himself. AOA Fear onto the Succubus. And Kolb should be able to chase after him. Probably has plenty of Visicast. Shadowburns and flags are coming out. Danger trying to get himself some Drain Life, but Kobrak does end up taking him out. Dude, this Drain Lego, this Drain Lego, the funny thing is, it's available in the game right now. Nobody plays the Drain Legendary right now. Nobody's playing it. Woman is up next, playing that Necrolord build, Necrolord setup for the Retribution Paladin. As much of a meme as you guys think it may be. Going to be a trinket out of Woman with a stunner to Kolb. Full rack available. It's going to be Drain Life. Can't really stop it on the wall. Look at the amount of healing Kolb has. Look at the amount of healing the Sorlak has through the burst of Woman. He just popped wall. Drain. What is this? It's so good. It's actually such a strong heal with a fear breaking the bonds of fell. Woman does still hold on to plenty of defensives. Is going to have the judgment that does clear magical effects off of him. So he can remove dots. He can remove slows. He can't, well, maybe not curses, but the Succubus slow, I think, is a magical slow. So you can remove certain slows. Not all of them. Soul Rod? I don't know if he can remove Soul Rod, though. Actually, maybe he can. Stun onto Kobrak. Shield Avengers does pop. Woman is having to play more defensive, trying to heal himself up a little bit. Going to be that Succubus you see around the corner. Does not have adaptation for this one. And Kolb trying to make sure he gets himself plenty of distance. Cataclysm, Bonzafell. Woman does bubble it. Kobrak cannot drain life off of the bubble as Athos trying to get himself set up. The gavel is in the air. The slime actually turns around onto the Kevin slime from Woman. Every time he throws the gavel, he summons an extra slime, playing the Marilith conduit. That's going to be a full flash cut up, immune to CC for the time being, immune to CC after channeling. And Athos should be able to get a setup, does interrupt Kobrak on Shadow. That's going to be a big old gateway as Woman goes for a turn. Evil Kobrak still trying to get himself a stun. That's going to be Hodge instead with a full wreck. Trying to go for the big go. Gavel is up. Big damage onto Kolb. Does have a port. Not a lot of health. Actually does recover Battle Masters with a Hellstone immediately. That's a lot of Bard health and a pretty massive heal for the health that he has. Fear onto Woman. Does have adaptation proc him. Trying to stay in a Bonzafell. Trying not to break it for the free damage. Going to be Soul Rod setting up. Does get dispels for free though. Interrupting Kobrak on a Drain Life. Next time he has Drain Life back up, he's just going to maintain. Look at that heal. That's a legendary though. A lot of you guys are like, wow, 9-1, did it buff it? No. That's the same Lego. That's the same Drain Life. They didn't change Drain Life at all. He just got a Lego that sucks out health out of enemies faster. Just nobody really plays it, I guess, because you can interrupt Drain Life. But the healing it does, look at it. 20% dampening. He's still got plenty to survive, plenty to sustain. Woman got himself lots of damage. Big Seraphim ready. If only he can lock him down. Big Hodge coming in. Does he get the big go? Gonna be Succubus CC. No adaptation to bust out of that one. And Kolb does survive the onslaught. Setting up his own damage for Woman. Trying to see if he can get some line of sight with flashlights to follow. That's gonna be just a full Drain Life for Kolb. And for it's gonna be a bit of a reset as well. Only 8 bits of the dual dampening is getting up higher and up there and up there. Gonna be a big old burst for Woman though. Can cleave down the Succubus as well as the Warlock if he puts those two together. If he does keep him together, he might be okay. I don't know what just happened. What is that on his feet? Still got like an aura for a second. Interesting. Does get himself a Seraphim as an Infernal dropping down. Stun comes in. Aetherwoman is a little bit afraid for their health. Wreck comes out, but it misses Kobrak. Gonna be the full Bonds of Fel. Does drop Aetherwoman's health quite low. And Kobrak wants to go for big poor, big mobility. Aetherwoman decides, you know what? I'm a line of sight. Kob tried to stick away with a bit of a drain himself. And I think the thing about Kobrak's build though, real Kobrak obviously, is he's actually out of mana. That drain life ability is actually kind of mana expensive. It is pretty expensive. Actually legit expensive. No more succubus, so for Atho, it might be pretty good. One less CC to deal with. Gonna be a Mortal into a fear, probably got a proc adaptation. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because I think he swapped out seals. I think he has Seal of Concentration instead of Seal of Devotion. Or Aura Concentration. Which with a Conduit does reduce the duration of horrors and fears. So he's not setting fears long at all, so adaptation can't really get any value. Which made me think, like, honestly, you should take away that seal, so he actually can adapt some of the CC. That's gonna be big damage to the Cobb. Taking lots of big hitters. Gonna be a Gavel dropping in. Kevin Slime is back up in there. Gonna be Judgment in again. If only he timed the Judgment a little later, he could have maybe dispelled himself. Quarterback tried to go for a big drain. Is actually kind of low on mana. Interrupt onto the Warlock. Athens tried to stay on him as best as he can. Big Kaz was flying in, trying to see if he can walk by it. Literally walk through the Warlock to try to see if he can get away from those bolts. Gonna be actually blasting him through the shields. Okay. That was a Shield of Vengeance, and it looks like Kobrak literally went right through that shield. This is a bug. We saw this last week. But it looks like Athaman had a full Shield of Vengeance and maybe even a Fleshcraft, and none of it absorbed any of that damage. Weird. Wargrind is up next. Got himself a Chimeric Poison with a Silence onto Kobrak. Does reduce the amount of damage and healing he does for a bit. Try to drain life. That's going to be that muzzle interrupt. And Wargrind might be able to take down Kobrak. He's so low. Athaman has done such a good job getting him so down. And Wargrind just needs one more execute. Got the kill shot off, but the drain lives continue to heal him. Mortal Coil back up almost very, very close. Does get a Mortal Coil. Could have actually got a Havoc Mortal Coil to get a double heal. Is going to set up a dot on the pad. Drain life after Wargrind as well. Soul Rod is up. It's actually going to allow him to drain life both the targets. It's going to continue to get himself heals. Dude, look at that healing. At 38% dampening. It's actually quite nuts. Actually nuts. Wargrind just trying to see if he can end the duel here. Is he is Venthyr. I was going to say. If he's Venthyr or not. Cobra continue to get those drains, dude. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness. And Wargrind is in a bad spot right now. 41% dampening. Does see the Succubus. The Succubus was aiming right for him as Cope did pick up the eyes. Wargrind exchanging the dots. He just needs himself like a big go. He just needs himself a big go. I think if he's playing Najam, actually hard to tell what kind of is he playing. Is he playing Draven or Najam? I was gonna say if he's playing Naja, then you might just need to wait until he gets a haze buff. Go in during the haze buff, because the haze buff becomes a crit buff or a versa buff. And that'll give you quite a bit of burst. It is going to be a Wargrind sped down for the count. Does need to get a CC chain onto Kolb. That is going to be Infernal slamming down with the Mortal Coil locking him out. And Kolb got himself plenty of damage. Shadow Fury right after. Wargrind has nowhere to go. Just has to take this dot damage. Bonzafell is up. Actually, I think it's done for Wargrind. And Kobrak, obviously the real Kobrak, makes a handy return with a big old drain life. Look at the amount of healing he did. A Warlock killed himself that much. That is new. I do like it. I did like it though. I actually enjoyed that. I thought it was really, really cool. And the funny thing is, it's a legendary that's already been in the game. It's not a new Lego. It's not a new Lego at all, boys. Oh my god. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder if that'll become a decent Lego going forward, like in a 2v2 3v3 scenario. Because it did end up healing you quite a bit. Like, surprise, surprise, it actually healed you quite a bit. Essence Drain. Whenever you heal yourself with Drain Life, the enemy target deals 5% less damage to you. Oh, and the Claw Boots of Enderal. Okay, cool. So 25% damage reduction and big heals. That's actually kind of nuts. Yeah, I guess that would be really good together, wouldn't it? Didn't they buff Essence Drain for Affliction recently? That's crazy. Wow. 25% damage reduction and you heal yourself more than the enemy can deal to you. That's actually kind of nuts. So it is survival as hell. For all specs. Oh, okay, it was for all specs. I thought it was for just affliction. They buffed it. I thought it was buff duration or something. For Affy in particular. But I could be wrong on that. Alright, boys, let's get another up and running, yeah? So, wait, hold on. Essence Drain. Whenever you heal yourself with Drain Life, the enemy target deals 5% less damage to you. Okay, I thought it was maybe like a wide nerf. Or ready to place 2 people? Sounds good, Atham. Sounds good, my guy. Let's go again, boys. That's actually really cool, dude. The Drain Life build. This is what we needed. On PTR, man. We need people testing out different builds. Trying new fun things out. See what's broken, see what might work. That's exactly what we needed, man. 48, dude. Crazy. They missed Rotor and Wobhead? Okay, never mind them. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know, though. I did not realize. It's just so. You called yourself Cobrak and you got the same bug. That's messed up, man. Why play survival is so bad? What's up, Cindy? How you doing, my man? Look, those selfies, the games are broken. Why play survival is so bad? Survival is not a bad spec at all. It is a little bit of a slower spec, I guess. I think it is a little bit of a slower spec, that's for sure. Okay. Okay, we saved that. Only 4 on team 2. Hopefully the 1 gets in here. Switch. 1 missing on team 2, but that's okay. Well, actually, it looks like 1 left on team 1, so it is a 4/4. A weird 5v5 1v1 duel when it's just 4 people. Maybe looks like the 5th on team 2 came in. I don't really know what's going on. Broton picking up the stars immediately. Look at him running with a star, knocking up Atha. Wait, he did it out of stealth? What? I didn't realize you could do that. Imagine a rogue picking up a bunch of these and going in for a Star Lord like knock-up build. Is that what Broton is going to be playing? He's playing out the new Ana talent, the Star Burst. Every time you Star Fall, you drop these stars around you. You can pick them up and they'll like rotate around you. Big adaptation out of Atha. Woman trying to go for big gamies themselves. Seraphim's up. Got them ability. Broton better get the hell out of dodge. Barks is up. Trying to get himself some cast while moving. Does get interrupted on Lunar. So he's actually able to cast the nature and needs to pick up a Star Burst ASAP. So he can have some knockback onto Atha. It's like a Giga Thorns. So Broton better have himself some Star Surges and Starfalls rolling. And pick up a bunch of these Starbursts. I did not realize you could pick them up in stealth. That is funny as hell. Big old roar into Atha Woman trying to get her from another Cyclone. It is going to be full of Cyclone. Broton might be able to get himself some resources to go for another Starfall potentially. Might need to go for big heights away from Atha Woman ASAP. If he can get himself a Starfall, because he does have the Starfall where he can get Starfall doing more damage, and he casts while in there. Thorns is up, stars are falling. He needs to pick up the Star Surges or Star Bursts. He does have one right here. If he just walks next to it, Atha Woman will have to hit the guy. But Broton isn't really picking him up. So he's kind of almost getting the full build. But it looked like those things actually do quite a bit of damage. Look at that. And as Atha gets in melee, he's going to get knocked up in the air, taking a bit of damage. Broton does go down, though. I feel like he should have... I don't even know. Maybe it's really hard to just, like, find... It might be one of those problems with that build is finding a way to, like, pick up this Starburst while also maintaining your health. It's like you got to do 2 things at once. You know? Might be one of those weird, like, conundrums that it might be really difficult to do, honestly. Yellow Lizard is going to be up next. As Seavark with the Arcane Mage, Arcane Blast, and big shields, no triple shield available, trying to go for a big go versus Atha, touches the magic, slamming down, does survive it. And it's going to have that slime shield proccing as well. Hodge onto Yellow Lizard, who is playing Shimmer, will not be able to just bust out of those stuns immediately. Makes you wonder what the legendary Yellow Lizard is playing, but I'm guessing Barrage Legum, right? The Barrage Legum most likely. No interrupt, actually interrupt available backup for Yellow Lizard if Atha Woman tries to go for a self-heal. Actually, if he casts one, he'll be in trouble. Doesn't do too much damage. It looked like it did a decent amount. It just needs more of them. Big old Arcanosphere as a Necrolord getting set up by Yellow Lizard. Does he have the big go? Pretty good knockback on Atha. Did quite a significant amount of damage. Big old Flash Scout to follow. Does get interrupted with the Rebuke. As Yellow got himself Palantio Burst. Hodge coming down by Atha Woman. As Yellow still has plenty of damage rolling. Sure, it's going to be Trinket with a big heal. Massive amount of temporal healing. Actual massive amount of temporal healing. Trinket it out at a perfect time. Just took the damage from Atha and temporal recovered everything needed. But playing without the triple shield Lego, he is a bit of a trouble because he just cannot deal with the damage long term. He's gonna have himself all the time in case Atho got some damage of his own. So at least he can reverse some of that damage himself. Does have ultra time to pull him all the way back if he needs to. I'm pretty sure he cancel it, but now using Greater Invis to try to see if he can get away from Athoman. When he comes out of Greater Invis, he does have a 60% DR. So you can actually use it defensively if you want him. It isn't a 2-minute cooldown, so it's not as long of a cooldown as the other mages, but it is something you could use defensively. Didn't quite go for that. Mostly wanted just to use it to get away and get a bit of a reset. Actually, I might have even used Massimus there as well. Athoman is going to get slapped down by the Cicada. Does he have the big go to follow? Arcane Missile flying with a barrage right after. Touching the Magi, everything. But Athoman does survive it. The Slime Shield rolls in to save this Paladin. The Necrolords helping out Paladins? Preposterous. That would never happen. But it's happening. It's actually kind of cool. Actually kind of need big damage on Athoman. Does he have anything? But the bubble if Yellow Lizard has big damage right here. Does he have the big go? Shield of Vengeance, just in case. Just had to go set it up. Yellow Lizard does have ultra time rolling. Is in a pretty good spot. Could cancel if he wants to. Athoman kind of hanging on by the ultra time location. Looks like Yellow is going to take it. And Athoman, Shield of Vengeance broken. His shield has health exposed. This line does coat him yet again to provide an extra shielding. At least for the time being. Had himself the big gavel set up to go for a temporal into Divine Storm. But he's okay. What's up, Karan? Hey, demo guy. Hope you're having a good one. What do you mean by slow? Survival is fun? Survival is pretty good, yeah. Survival is actually pretty good. I feel like they just haven't really had a fair shake, but maybe next patch, man. Better gear, better pizza, Papa John's. You know what I mean? It's going to be Atho rooted up behind, or not really behind, in the root, I guess. Out in the open, big temporal up for Yellow, but not really letting the temporal heal him. He's actually just trying to avoid Atho. Big red coming down as Wings is up, and Yellow doesn't want to be anywhere near him. Might have himself Fleshcraft available very, very soon. Atho so far has been throwing judgments. He's been getting Blades of Justice, the extra Gallo from the Necrolord. But he hasn't really been able to get himself a good setup just yet. Touching the Magic, getting set up right now by the Mage, trying to go for a Poly, still trying to let a Poly Nova onto Athoman, still landing the Poly. Deathborn is going to be available. Touching the Magic does break him out of that Poly for a second. All the time is up. As long as he doesn't get interrupted, he'll be okay. Rebuke available for Athoman. Trying to go for whatever instant cast he can in order to deal damage to Atho. The Rebuke does get juked. Yellow Lizard can actually go for full cast if he wants to. No more Rebuke. Interrupts him on Holy. Is going to be able to Fleshcraft Shadow Heal with Absorb. Actually is doing A-okay for now. Seraphim is up for Athowoman. As Yellow Lizard trying to continue guiding the boy around as best as possible. Big old Hand of Freedom available for Atho. As Greater Invis comes out. So that's actually 60% DR. Nice setup by Yellow. Perfect. Like Greater Invis as the Hodge comes out. So it does at least give him some DR to work with. Atho does have the friendly slime just kind of spitting at the mage over time. Which provides Atho with a small shield. But also makes Yellow take 2% more damage. Which is not a great amount of damage, but hey, if you're getting kited the whole time, and you literally can't melee, the enemy can barely get temporals, it is better than nothing, honestly. And Atho, again, just the mobility, the Paladin, the wheelchair spec. This is having a hard time catching up. Does not have an interrupt for the Flesh Cow for Yellow Lizard. Does get your interrupt on Arcane, though. That is going to be all the time, so you can reverse a lot of that damage. With the full shield of Fleshcraft up and running still. Landing the Polymorph over to Atho. It's going to be adaptation, immediate Poly to follow. Does Yellow have a go? Trying to get some misses up and running. Athoman definitely has himself a decent setup. Knockback by Yellow. Continuing just to keep Athoman at bay as best as possible. But that's about all he's been able to do. Finally, Atho able to get some damage in. Trying to make those temporals work. Touch the Magic getting set up. It's Yellow trying to go for some damage of his own. Arcane Blast coming out. Doesn't get the Nova onto Atho. Trying to see if he can squeeze out a polymorph in between. Does get to Hodge by Atho. Does he have a big go? Big wreck. And that's going to be Ice Block for Yellow Lizard with a reheal while inside of the block. Atho can keep chipping away at it all day if he wants to. Isn't really going to be able to get much out of it for the time being. Yellow just blasts a couple missiles into his face. And does get a juke on Rebuke, actually. He can actually fully cast in his face if he wants to. He does bust out the Rebuke. Is Survival squishy? It kind of is Sienage. Survival, I'd say it's kind of squishy, yeah. Cutting in a nutshell, basically. Yeah, Survival Hunter can be a little bit squishy from last game, I guess, yeah. Polymorph available for yellow. No, actually, no. It looks like it doesn't go by it. Hodge, yellow is kind of in a bad spot. Is there alter time? There is alter time, so he's actually okay for now. Atherman did not want to go for a big old setup just yet. Poly is up off of that shimmer. Does he have that adaptation? He does have adaptation. Bubble and Bop available for Athwoman. Not going to use the Bop against the Mages. The Shield of Vengeance is available. Does have the Ashen. That's going to be a greater invis for yellow. So far, Ather just needs to find a way to lock down Yellow Wizard. There's no more trinkets. Actually, no, he does have a trinket back for a Hodge. No more Ice Box, so no more immunity for the Mage. Just needs to find a way to just kind of get a setup on him. That knockback for the Mage does give him a little bit more breathing room, knocking out the Fleshcraft out of his hands. Not going to be able to get the full value of the shield. And all he have is offensive power. Trinkets out of the Hodge immediately. Try to stay as mobile as he can. Just a few more hits needed for Ather, but has all those hammers from afar. He sees a couple of them and he'll be good to go. Temporal up. Oh, massive amount of healing lost for Yellow Lizard. Actually, all the time as the Battle Master trinket fell off and you lost all that health and then you timed back. Is that what happened just now? He like snapshot his health, the percentage health? I think that's exactly what happened. I'm going to take a big blast as Yellow, I think, is going for the last big go. Shield of Vengeance is up for the Paladin. Doesn't last long at all. That's going to be Images trying to see if he can slow down Atherman as best as he can. Yellow got the full Necrolord Deathborn go. Trying to make the most damage happen here, but also trying to stay as alive as possible. Just trying to stay mobile and living, more importantly than anything. So far for Ather, it has been a little bit of a rough ride, though. Gonna be a poly up for Yellow Lizard with a Hodge to follow. Does he have any way out? I think it might be over unless does have a temporal. At 30% DR, I think it is gonna be, yeah, at 30% dampening. It might be a little bit rough. Invis into a mount up. Atherwoman had himself channeling. If Fleshcraft decided, you know what, I'm gonna finish the full channel just to get himself a full shield. And so far, the Mage actually able to get some food, able to recover. Nova was using Ather, didn't miss him. I don't know how they didn't miss him, but it didn't. Wreck missing for Atherwoman though. So at least someone is missing. Touch of the Magic, big Arcana Sphere is getting set up. Does the Mage have a big go? Ather getting knocked back for a second. Touch of the Magic, shoot slam down. Does get him to about half his health. More missiles coming out. It's going to be ultra time available for Yellow. Big barrage for damage. Stone to Yellow Lizard. Does have ultra time to reverse his damage. Unless he gets super low. Does end up dying before ultra time. Time's out. Can't really use ultra time while stunned. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Try to play it as best as he can defensively. But that was rough. Big Convoke the Spirits coming out for Christina. Does play the 1 minute Convoke. Atherman immediately, or Atherwoman immediately. Does press a Basic Protection for it. Doesn't want to take the damage from it so far. Has a Bubble and a Bop, and we are getting higher in dampening. I think he wanted to trade Basic Protection to maybe get some damage out of Christina without having to burn like his own self-healing, because we are getting to a high dampening. He's been sitting on a cooldown anyway for a while. Shield advantage is up. Does he have a big go for Christina to traverse it? From the Thorns, it's going to be a Cyclone from a distance, as Christina is going to go for that clone. Getting adaptation out of Atho. Keeping Christina in combat is important for Atherman. Is going to send the Galvas in. And Christina, most likely, is not going to be able to catch a reset. Try to go for a big old leap with a Skull Bash onto Atho. Does interrupt him unholy. Atho should have a bubble if he needs to. Stun onto Christina. And Atherman used to give himself maybe a big go, maybe a bubble out of this. Bubbles it. As you saw, some of those buys did not want to have another buy take him out. Next big go, Christina most likely will have stun as well as Convoke. So for Atho, this is going to be real bad. Dropping down Consecration, Christina's just going to go a long ways around it. But as long as you can get yourself a full stun into Atho, full Convoke, there's nothing you can do. And there goes the Convoke. Does he survive it? Barely. Big bites to follow. Actually, Battle Master Trinket saves him. Barely any health though. Still super low. Fleshcraft is up. Gets Skull Bashed. And that's going to be done for the count. Daedra up next with a big old Fleshcraft setting up himself. And we'll see where it goes. Oh, Archeorg. Okay, Archeorg typing in chat. He said that he was in Team 1. He rolled 100, so he's going to be first. And he got DC'd. Or something. Or something like that. Or something happened with the roll and he bailed. I need to read it again. I literally... Архи, I'll try to... Я пытаюсь прочитать после этого дуэля, хорошо? После этого дуэля. Argo wrote me a long message. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Gonna be Danger swapping out to the Wrathguard. Man, he's been trying to make the shadow build work for a while, and it just hasn't worked out so far. He's been really trying to make the shadow build work, but he always have to go back to the Felguard. Maybe he has to go for the Felguard at the beginning to get the stun, and then he could swap out to the Succubus later, but he just can't really do anything to Christina, because Pharaohs are immune to the Succubus CC, so you can't even get crowd control on him. And it feels like the whole honor chart just kind of goes out of the window that way. It doesn't get the benefit of the extra shadow damage or the faster cast of shadow bolts either. It becomes kind of rough to play with. Because you try to go for a root on the pet. Actually gets a stun and a root on the pet. Going to be Deja. Summoning out the pet, swapping him out. Still trying to make the shadow build work. Going to be Christina. Attacked by the Succubus. Trying to see if he can root the Succubus out. And it's going to be Ursul's on the Succubus. Trying to see if he can take down the pet real quick. A stun around the corner. And Danger does need to get in line inside of Christina. Does hit him with the Succubus. See trinkets out of it. And try to see if he can get the hell out of there. Danger just sees himself like a good line of sight, making sure Christina doesn't get a reset. You'll be good to go. Skull Bash comes out for the Flash Guard. Doesn't get the full effect of immunity to CC. And Danger finally able to get himself at least some Shadow Bolts in. Mortal Call into Christina. Trying to get some Cold Dreadstalker. Needs to get himself a Tyrant up and running at some point. Christina probably has a stun ready to go. Maybe a interrupt. Going to be a stun into Christina with a Tyrant. Doesn't get an interrupt on a Tyrant. Going to be a big damage into Christina. Trying to see if he can bow out of there. Plenty of self-healing. Even a 58% dampening. But he's trying to see if he might be able to get the hell out of dodge. And Daedra has himself a full army of demons with the shadow build as well as the obelisk. I feel like the obelisk should be used more often than not, because that is quite a bit of damage. As soon as you get yourself a set of pets, maybe you get yourself a Vile Fiend, some Peppies, drop down to obelisk. Going to be a Convoke coming out for Christina. No way for Daedra to interrupt it unless he has a honor challenge for it. Fear onto Christina's Daedra hop slow. That's going to be a good way for Daedra to at least get Christina off his back. Drain Life is up and running too. Daedra should be able to maintain himself just a little bit. Try to get a Vile Fiend up and running. Does get interrupted on. Christina goes in for Feral Frenzy. Has a big bite ready. Big old bite. Daedra does go for a gateway. Drain Life has a leap for him and chasing the boy. Oh no. Oh no. That's super unfortunate. Wargren sending out his pet immediately at Christina is going to get him in combat as soon as he sees him. Actually, Christina, did you get your he actually got a reset. The pet literally was next to him. And I guess he jumped down. Pet didn't auto attack him fast enough. Did take him out. As well as present to the stream, have a fun day, Dal, and say save dude. Yo, what's up, Unit? How you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a good one, man. Hope you're having a good one. Okay, so something happened with the rolls with Archeorc, and I'm reading it. I don't fully understand exactly what he wrote, but it's something about he rolled 100, walked away from the keyboard, and then his group of Pernay just says that he goes last, so he bailed out or something. Weird. Maybe they didn't see a roll. Maybe his own didn't before everybody else, and then he did slash roll. And they wouldn't be able to see a roll at that point. I don't really know. Christina getting an opener, or at least trying to, onto Worgen with a freezing trap to follow. Worgen making sure he got himself plenty of range to it. Is it playing? There goes. I was gonna say, is it playing Chimeric Poison? Because I would imagine it'd be really good. Does Christina actually able? Is he able to dispel? Okay, we talked about it before. I think Chimeric Poison is a physical debuff that does nature damage, and the poisons themselves, the stings themselves, can be dispelled separately, but you basically wouldn't want to. We're going to try to go for a Harpoon onto Christina. Does get the root on Harpoon, but the Ursus kept him away. Christina's super low on health. Needs to go for a big old go onto Wargren. The wall is not going to last long at all. Needs to get himself a Convoke or something. Big old Convoke coming out for the pet. Probably going to be able to take a big bite out of that pet. And is going to be able to work and try to catch up to Christina before he can get any kind of resets. Got himself the big flayed shot rolling. Maybe kill shots to follow. Needs himself a stun. Stun out of Christina instead. Trinket and a feint for Wargren to maim right after. Does himself pet sack with a kill shot at the end. Does snipe out the beast. Does take him out. There we go, boys. There we go. Guys has to go first. The first game he said yeah before we rolled. And he rolled 100 the first game and said Go second, cries at 1v5, then you roll next game and rage quit. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Okay, so that explains it a little bit. That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. Yeah, be nice to one another, boys. That's all I could say. Be kind and nice to one another. That's about all I could say. Cobrak versus Wargren at 81% dampening. Man, that's a long game. That is a really long one, dude. That's a real long one, but these guys, they don't know how to back it down without a fight. Was it Atherman and Seavark that really had the longest game out there? I think it was, right? The Arcane Mage versus the Retribution Paladin. You got one of the more mobile classes that's a caster, very squishy, versus a immovable object of just pure muscle. Pure Chad, which is Atherman, or Atherwoman. Gonna be freeze the trap at a Cobrak, gonna trap onto the succubus. I still love the fact that you got the mount rolling too. It is so perfect. Sounds of the Cob. As Worgen looking for a bit of a setup on him. Gonna be a succubus. You see with the freezing trap actually got succubus seduced while dropping down and trapping midway, which is actually so good for him. Mordecai getting set up. Wargren just eating so many instacasts with the Shadow Fury right after. Emily getting set up. Cob might be able to get enough damage here. Big executes coming out. Oh, taking down Wargren pretty quickly. That Infernal adding on to that extra damage with a few instacasts and high dampening. You don't, not really going to get much healing. So unless you have a trinket, you kind of just SOL. Going to be Kiss God on the opposite team. Trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a go. Playing that full curing build. Whatever damage he takes early from the succubus as well as Infernal, he's not going to be able to heal through it. The Paladin does have a bubble, so at least there's an immunity. But Cobb is trying to see, making sure he gets plenty of range from him. Gonna hit him, not even gonna meet the target, not even gonna look him in the eye when he does damage to him. He can just go for a unbound. Oh, bubble coming out for Kiss God really early, huh? Really early. Interesting. Wait, why is it looking at the gateway? Oh, it's looking at the day draw. I was gonna say, why is it setting up to a gateway? The Kiss God in that full attire actually looks really good, dude. That Greek attire, I think I mentioned it before already, but it looks insanely cool. Kiss God no longer with a bubble. Shield Events isn't really gonna do much for you at this point. Cobra got himself most likely the tether around the corner. Gonna be a succubus CC trinkets out of it. Hodge of the Cob does not have a trinket, but it looks of it. Got himself wall though. Kiss God trying to make some damage happen. Ward of Glories is not doing anything here. Hand of Freedom just trying to see if he can bail away from Cobb. Might be able to maybe get away. Might be able to at least catch up on some health. 96% dampening, so you're not completely dead. Not completely out of the game. 97% dampening, not completely unhealable. At 99, it does get really bad. It does get really bad. And that's going to be a succubus just getting some freebie. Yeah, I think it's over for Kiss God. It's just like, uh-oh. Well, that's how it goes. Cataclysm literally doesn't need to look him in the eye. Execut's coming out. Yeah, at that point, like, all you could really do is just bubble and pop a cooldown and then just hammer. Hammer out the enemy. Iniquity, that's a name I haven't seen in a bit. How you doing, my dude? Iniquity dropping in as a Draenei on Holy DK. I like it. Bonzo fell around the corner. Iniquity might just have to AMS it. Actually just walks past it as a Necrolord. Is he going to grip Cobra back up? Might not be a bad idea. Dropping down with him. If Cobb does go up, can you grip him down? Almost had line of sight. So he's missing out on some damage here. But he might be able to go for a big old grip. Chain of Ice to Cobb. Got himself the pet all in power, but the slows from the succubus isn't helping him at all. Cobrak so far has been able to just avoid him completely. Line of sight him until he has mobility. That's going to be a Mordecai Ascent. Iniquity. Try to hit him with whatever damage you can. Try to go for a gateway. Couldn't quite do it. It's going to be a grippy hand available. If he can just keep Cobrak out in the open, he might be okay. But the slow from the succubus is just doing him wonders. Iniquity got himself the slappy hand available. And needs just to get one more grip onto Cobb. But he might not be able to at this point. The slow from the succubus. The Bonzafell doesn't tether to him. But that's okay. Doesn't quite tether. He put it up maybe a little too early. But does have the Infernal just stack Iniquity. It's just going to be free damage to him. Unless you can get Spell Warden proccing. Oh, it's just not looking good. Yeah, I think this is where it just... That's just kind of where it went sideways. Now Cope just needs free executes. Man, with the game going that long... You know, Ather with that Damie... That's a lot of damage. Long match versus... your boy Seabark. We actually got so much healing for Arcane Mage. Not even playing the triple shield Lego. Kind of crazy. Alrighty, boys. Let's see if we can get another one up and running. Yeah, because it took place in a trial game. You weren't offered to be the first, and this isn't the first time. You always do. I don't. Maybe I'll do what C-Rec is. Just yeah, it's between you and you two. Yeah. Be nice to one another, boys. Be nice and kind to one another. Be fair to one another too. Yeah, I think it's only fair to be fair. You be fair, they be fair. 49? Jesus, we're almost at 50 of these. All good. Guys, the first aid is Taylor's first aid. Guys, that first aid is the Taylor's first aid. I have no idea. Did you get first aid in arena or did you buy PvP bandages? I don't think you can get PvP bandages in arenas, my guy. I think it's survival hunter medic bandages, which is an honor talent. I think it might have been. But yeah. Super unfortunate. True, I guess so. Yeah, Cobra top lock from Panda, dude. It's not the real Cobra. I'm so sorry to tell you guys, it's not the real Cobra. Cobra maybe roll to Destro Warlock from Hunter, back him up? Really? I'm sure Cobra got plenty of people to play Destro back in the day. You can use bandages in arena? I think if you have first aid, yeah, you can. But, yeah, I think you can. I could be wrong on that one. But if you did see like a survival hunter using manic bandages, that is an honor talent. So that is something to consider. The tailoring ones? I don't think so, no. I think you just use first aid. I don't think you use the tailoring ones. I think you actually have to have first aid the profession trained. Like if you go to spellbook, professions, and you could do cooking, fishing, archaeology, and I think one of them was for. Did it take out first aid? Wait, really? You can use tailoring ones? Since when? Wait a second. Did it take out first aid? When? That's news to me. Why did they do that? Huh? Huh? Really? I didn't realize. Oh my god. My life has been a lie. I thought first aid has always been a profession. Long time ago. Boys, nothing makes me feel old than telling me it was a long time ago. I'm an old man. I'm a decrepit old man still playing a 17-year-old game. Oh, back in 1985 when they still had first aid. I can do an old man voice pretty well. I feel old though. Wow. Unbelievable. All these Zoomers coming into my world of Warcraft and changing it. Oh. Well, I actually can't believe they took out first aid. That's crazy. Didn't you be tailored to use them? I don't think so. You might actually be able to use them as whoever. I think it's one of those consumables that can be used in like things. I could be wrong. But I'm wrong on everything. I have no idea. Somebody that's informed, let him know. Which. At least that's how I would imagine, but maybe you do have to be a tailor. It's gotta be team. Well, actually, let's take a look at team 2. We got ourselves Athel, we got ourselves Deja. Is it playing more Shadow build? Where's the Succubus? I didn't even see the Succubus. Kiss God, we got ourselves Not Iniquity as an Holy DK. And we got Wargren versus Broton as more of the Kyrian Boomy is. Oh, no, not Kyrian Boomy. Cole. We got Cole, we got Christina, we got ourselves Vargen as a. Is that Brizaz? No, it's not Brizaz. He's enhancement. Brizaz would have been something different. Frost Mage Yellow Lizard versus Kiss God. Playing out the Necrolord with Frostbolt build. That was a pretty big hit. That was a kind of a chunky Frostbolt just shot at him. Huh? Okay. What is that? I'm sorry, am I the only one impressed by that Frostbolt? It just chunked out a portion of his health. That is not what I'm used to for a live Frost Mage gameplay. Frost Mage gameplay right now, Frostbolts, it literally tickles. Like, you actually hit somebody with their in the health bar with a Frostbolt, and the bar might as well not move. Look at that! What was that? Gonna be a Shatter combo coming out for Yellow Lizard. Does check out of the Hodge. Is gonna have himself a Shimmer Port available with all the time as well. Kid's got taking a bit of damage though, as more procs are available for Yellow Lizard to add himself that all the time with more Frostbolts while frozen. Look at those things. Look at these things! With a big old Ray of Frost available, Kiss God got plenty of lay on hands healing while wings are up as well. He's gonna have himself lots of reliability for the time being. Frostbolts available. The Novas doesn't apply though on Kisgot with that Hand of Freedom. No way to remove that Hand of Freedom for the time being. Big Shatters available for this Lances from Yellow. Try to get more Blizzard, more Frostbolts in there. Does get trapped on Arcane. Has plenty of opportunity to go for a full Blizzard onto Kisgot. And Yellow got himself plenty of those Frostbolts back to back. Gonna be quite a bit of hammer damage from Kisgot. Is Yellow Lizard playing the triple shield leg, or he is playing triple shield leg? I would imagine it would be the best one. Rune of Power getting set up with the Blizzard to follow. Kisgot is going to get hit with a Nova. Blizzard is actually doing quite a bit of damage to him with a Frozen Orb. Actually, a decent amount of procs happening. Kisgot might actually be in trouble. Is going to go for an interrupt onto the Flesh Cup with a Wake of Ashes, trying to get himself full Seraphim Hodge onto Yellow. Could be an Ice Block out of the Mage with a full wreck available. Kisgot does go for a big Hammer Slam. And that's going to be Yellow Lizard in that Ice Block. Not getting the healing he needs while Ice Block. He is getting a little, actually. Very little. I don't think he has a conduit for it, like a proper conduit for it. This is going to resummon a whole new pet as Kisgot looks like he eliminated it. Try to get another poly. Kisgot no more rebuke available. Is going to land another poly onto the Pala. It looks like every time he sees the Pala, he does good stacks. Hand of Freedom going to keep him away from being rooted, being Novad. As Alta Time is up for Yellow Lizard. Doesn't really have a lot of self-heals for the time being. Hanging out by the Alta Time location for Yellow Lizard. Does decide to remove it instead. Decides not to port back to that location. At least the shields might be okay for him for the time being. As Kisgot actually slowed to a halt, Shield of it is not really helping him at all. Yellow with no soul binds, really? Okay, that might actually be a problem then. That actually might make it rough. Yeah, if you got no soul binds, that definitely is going to make this duel a little bit harder, because soul binds how they heal. At least how mages heal in general. He got no shield healing, he got no ice block healing, which is going to be extra rough. Trick it out of the Hammer of Justice. Kisgot setting up himself wings. He's going to be blinded to Yellow Lizard with a wreck and everything, trying to make the most damage happen. Big old Dam comes out with a final verdict. Yellow does get himself a shield at the very last second. He is going to have to go get some food at some point. He's going to have to go get some food and maybe get a Nova onto Kisgot with his pet. He might have to get the pet around the corner with the Nova. Does Nova him. There's going to be Hand of Freedom. At least get himself a couple bites to eat. All the time is up in case his health really drops low. Can use it for mobility if he needs to. It looks like Kisgot is just going to go behind the pillar. Yeah, Lizard can take the all the time. Looks like he's not gonna. Into a poly onto Kisgot. As Yellow trying to go for a bit of damage himself again. Oh, these bushes, dude. It's kind of in my face. That's going to be mostly... If he has Hand of Freedom, he will be able to remove a lot of the damage from Frostmage. Looks like he doesn't. Actually, Hand of Freedom does come out towards the very tail end. Going to be an interrupt from the Paladin onto the Fleshcraft, but Yellow still has plenty of shields available for the time being. Ray of Frost dropping down the health bar of Kisgot, does hit it with a Hodge, has a second Ice Block available, and Kisgot recovers all that health in a single global. That's just absolutely nuts. He just recovered so much health just in a single go. Wasn't even with wings either. I don't think he was even super low on health either to get the healing hands proc, just crit. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, without soul binds, Yellow Lizard has no way of healing. There was actually no chance for him to be able to stand toe to toe, because you need to have some kind of healing against a Paladin, especially with no dampening. But the damage he had was really, really good. Like, it was a lot of really good little setups. I wonder if Ice Wall would have been helpful in that regard. I mean, it's a kind of a risky talent, but I wonder if that could have been good. Maybe like put up Ice Wall down and get some food, block off the Paladin from being able to get away from the Mage. Actually having to like bust down through the wall first. But I also need to know kind of how much health does that thing has, because last time I checked it didn't have too much. Var up next with his Kisgot. Does he go for the interrupt? I think he tried to go for an interrupt, but went for a Frost Shock instead. That's going to be a stun on a Kisgot. Trinket available for Var. Normal wall available. Blind. And Kisgot trying to go for the most holy damage possible. Does throw a bunch of hammers into Var. Gets a good proc. Trying to go for a Hex. Not happening. Going to be a Fleshcraft since no more interrupt by the Paladin. Big wreck coming down to Var. Actually has his Fleshcraft shield. I think it's hitting him through the Fleshcraft shield. Is he? He is. Maybe? Yes, he is. 100% he is. Gonna be that static totem dropping down to Kisgot, not let him go anywhere. He's stuck over there with the slimes as well as with wolves. He dropped the static totem just to make sure he can't chase after him. That's actually so clever. I love it. I just bought specs and goes to no soulbind. See, work, if you go and rank up your renown from that new renown vendor or the trinket vendor, he has a renown thing, and do the starting quest to get your Necrolord set up, and just keep spamming until you're full renown. Do that intro to get into the Necrolord Covenant, and then go to your soulbind guy, and they should be able to at least get Marilath and all your conduits that you have from copy or from live. You should be able to get it set up if you go do it right now. Wire taking lots of damage, dude. Shield is up. It looks like his health is just going. What are these shields? Do they even do anything? It feels like the shields don't even do anything sometimes. Is it just me? It feels like they just go through his health either way. He had a slime shield, and his health was just getting chunked out either way. But Kisgod find himself kind of low. Bubble's still available. Word of Glories is still rolling. Plenty of self-healing for the time being. Kisgod with those Word of Glories back-to-back, maintain himself as much as possible. It's going to be a static totem. You're stuck with VAR right now, but looks like Kisgod isn't going anywhere. Stun. It's going to be blind. The Kiss actually can't get away for a second. Trying to go for a blind. I think maybe you go, or maybe just trying to peel the shaman off of him. Hard to tell. But these two are in arena, just still tussling at it. 15% dampening rolling in. Kisgod still has plenty of self heals. So does VAR. There's going to be a duel until one of them runs out of mana, which is not going to be Kisgod. It's only if everyone runs out of holy power. Or whoever gets the big burst set up. Trinket might be available for War. War does go for a Trinket, trying to maintain himself as best as he possibly can. No wall available. Does get a Slime Shield proc, but again, Slime Shield only feels like it sometimes want to take the damage. Only sometimes, not all the time. Which is kind of weird. This time it did absorb it. Unless they nerfed some of the shields recently. To only take damage half the time. Or maybe it has to do with dampening. Shield is up for Kisgod. And VAR is going to have to bust through it really quickly. Flash cut is up, does get interrupted on. Oh! And Shield of Enders slap back at the boy. So far, Kisgod got 2 kills under his belt. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, boys. Christina going for a bit of a reset himself with his Shadow Meld, or with a Reset Prowl. Try to see if he can get himself an open onto Kisgod. Convoke the Spirits coming out. Blessing of Protection roll for the Pala. As he does get Yoing back in. Cyclone to follow, and Christina. I think just looking for another re-stealth. He did. Oh, not going to be able to. The Hand of Hindrance is going to keep him in combat, though. Hodge to follow. Does have a Barks hit as well as Trinket. Kisgod looking to get some big damage over Christina. And that's going to be a blind, able to get some holy damage without physically touching Christina. He does keep him blinded, which acts like a pseudo stun. Kisgod though taking lots of damage. Unless he's careful, Bubble does not come out, and Christina does get the big old bite. I think Kisgod trusted the light too much. Was prepping for another Word of Glory just then and there. Hunter's Mark on Christina immediately, so you cannot catch a proper reset versus Wargren. That's going to be Morgan dipping in, getting some dot silence to follow onto Christina. Does Harpoon actually just go through the wall with that thing? Wall might have to come out for Christina. Does go for a maim onto Wargren. Does he have the Convoke to follow him? He does bust out of the cat form. Maybe he tried to go for a Convoke for self-heals. No, he just gets himself a bit of a self-healing with a Hot as well as Swiftman. And trying to maintain himself as best as possible. Wargren still has him fully dotted up. Feign Death really quick for Wargren, so holding on to Trinket. Actually, he snuck in a camo for a moment. Didn't really help him too much. Needs a Manic Better to summon for this bleeds. Big bash into Wargren. Does he trick it? He doesn't. It is a CR bash. Still maintaining the dots as well as a 100's mark onto Christina as best as possible. It's going to be a steel trap, locking him down for a moment. Got plenty of dots, plenty of bleeds. Christina has a Barkskin to deal with this. Got himself Tiger's Fury to get some damage rolling. Wargren does not sit stun along at all. Super low in health, Turtle, but the bleeds have set in. And the final tick does take him out. Iniquity is going to be up next versus Christina, trying to see if he can catch up some healing before he actually has to fight against the Death Knight. Iniquity got himself the full pet up and running. Short stun to Christina as he's trying to stay away from him. Silence onto the Druid. Full army that are joining the fight is going to be a bear form. Why is Silence? He actually can't do some of the healing he needs. And the army might actually be able to take him down right now. If they can keep him slowed, and the army can just get the claws in on the guy. No, looks like big mobility coming out for Christina. Massive movement for this guy. Big old leap and just leapt a bounds away from Iniquity. Death and Decay on one side, but the opening is free on the other. Iniquity just have to wait out for Christina until later. Why there no Demon Hunters? Are they good in one? They're a little squishy, Demon Hunters. They are glass cannon. But for like 1v1s, they're a little bit squishier, I'd say. They can do well, but they basically have to do like a kite and run strat until they go for the big one shot. Maybe this next patch will make them a little bit better. They did get some cool new auto sounds and some defensive plays. Gonna be Christina with a full Chagas Fury set up. Bars get up. Thorns is available. Iniquity does have AMS rolling. Potentially a Spell Warden as well. Hard to tell. No, I don't even know if he's running Spell Warden, although it would help him with Thorns. Because it does give a shield that procs quite constantly. Big old grippy hand available. Does have the shackles of the Cressida silence, and as well as some of that health is necrotic out. Although Cressida is able to recover that health because the shackles did not last the full duration. Full Spell Warden does play it, never mind. Army that had joined the fight yet again. Christina does not have a wall for this one. So if Iniquity can just keep those pets on Christina, he might have a good spot. Got himself Lichborn available for self-heals. Short bash onto Iniquity. Is that bite going to be enough? Iniquity stands by to help to work with stun. Short onto Christina. Christina survived the Army of the Dead. Still alive and kicking. Barely any health left though. Thorns and walls available. Does get a big old bite into Iniquity. Barely surviving but did recover and turn it around. Well done. Well done. This is bugged. This is what sometimes prevents all the absorbs from working. Oh, Atho, is that what it is? Is the shard? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, okay, okay, interesting. I wonder if that's almost on purpose, because that's supposed to be a tanky absorb. It's supposed to be like a tank shard. So maybe they do it on purposes. I mean, I doubt the Blizzard did it on purpose, so the shard with the absorb supposed to just not let you get any kind of like because it's supposed to break the rest of your absorbs in the game, but it's interesting. So apparently people that are running Shard of Cure, which is a Shard of Domination socket gem, the blue one that says gain 880 absorb every 5 seconds up to a cap of 4,000. Apparently they're running that in their gear that breaks the rest of their absorbs, or has a chance to. It says prevents other absorbs from working, so that's a bit of a bummer. So if you're running the shard with the absorb, you might want to remove it or replace it with a more aggressive shard. Or like a self-healing shard. Either one. But the absorb one apparently is pretty bad if you're a class with the absorb. So if you're a Necrolord in particular, and you want to make sure damage doesn't go through your Necrolord Fleshcraft, make sure to replace the blue domination shard. Gonna be a stun onto Christina. Trinkets out of it. Doesn't really go for a proper stun or interrupt onto Deja. No, actually it does have no Skull Bash available. That's what it was. Daedra is going to get himself a full turn up and running. Does he have himself the big burst go? Got himself Decimating Bolt. Demon Bolt's coming in. Is going to be able to stop these pets from approaching him with Ursals. Look at him getting yoinked in. Crazy. Actually crazy. Oh, okay. It's bugged. Alright, so it says it absorbs 0 damage. I wonder if it's on purpose, so it's supposed to be disabled in PvP. Those shards. Because I don't think Blizzard wants you to be able to use those shards in PvP. They'd rather use the PvP gear for PvP. So maybe that's on purpose, Atham. But I don't think the bugged interaction is supposed to work like that. But I think that a 0 absorption is supposed to work like that in PvP. It's going to become Vogue. The Spirit's coming out for Christina. Doesn't really get the biggest damage to Daedra. I think it might have been split among the pets. As Daedra trying to get another fear up and running onto Christina. Bash, getting the bleeds up and running. Get the mean bites back to back. Skull bashing on the fear. Gonna be a stun onto Christina. As Daedra trying to see if he can claw his way back to an army of demons. If he can just rebuild real quickly. Does get the double stun onto Christina with the Fel Guards. Trying to go for a fear, but Christina does have the bleed set into Daedra. Got him super low. And does end up taking him out. But I imagine it'll be pretty decent now after the buff with the defensive talent. Yeah, I would imagine. But you need somebody who actually plays the Demon Hunter on live in PvP to come into the duels and test it out. Like somebody with experience. So if somebody knows the Demon Hunter that wants to hop on PTR, test them out in PvP and duels, feel free to ask. It'll be interesting to see how they perform. Because I imagine they'll be a lot more survivable, especially when they're Necrolord. I've seen some Necrolord Demon Hunters do really, really well. Like in BGs, they can 1vx. Atha taking a gateway. You're not a warlock, Atha. Big ol' combo with the spirits coming out. For Casino doesn't get the biggest damage onto Atha, but does build up the calm points needed for Casino to get those back-to-back bites. Got himself Feral Frenzy off it and everything. Berserk is up. Big damage available for Atha Woman. Christina trying to go for big damage of his own. Shield of Vengeance is up. Atha trying to see if he can just end the duel right here. Big slap back onto Christina, but also super low on health himself. It's going to be Christina with no health whatsoever, trying to see if he can wall and just run it out of there. Atha Woman might just need to stand still and get himself big heals. Absolutely no health available. Trying to get himself whatever healing he can, but it's going to be a bite, lockdown by Christina. Just had the calm points ready to go. Man, that is nutty. Kiss got with a bunch of damage and a bunch of healing, actually. Kind of crazy. Actually, just a one-man army. Just needed more healing the damage. But that's a feral druid. I think that if anything, they might end up nerfing all the self-heals next week. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, boys. You know what I mean? Alright, let's get another open running, yeah? Let's get another open running, boys. I asked Chris not to die and he didn't? So wait for druid nerfs. I think it might be next week, if anything. Because Blizzard said they want to take a look at some of the self-healing. But we'll see. I do think some of the self-healing could be nerfed down a bit. And maybe replaced with proper defensives. Maybe like give classes, the druids and other classes, just more defensive tools in terms of their honor talents. But like the self-healing capabilities, I think could be cut down a bit. Like if there was an honor talent to give 2 charges a wall, but nerf a lot of that self-healing and nerf the conduit, I think it'd be alright. Or Paladins give them like a some honor talent that they use all the time, just bake some defensive value into it. But also nerf some of the Word of Glory healing. I think it'd be okay. But that's just me. Like, maybe give them more mobility and nerf some of the healing. You know? Like, give them some honor talent where every time maybe like the judgment, they get a bit of movement speed, a slight damage reduction, and dispel themselves, which would be pretty cool. But nerf the Word of Glory healing slightly. So that at least they have some kind of regular mitigation. Like, if you are going to be swapping it out, the heals are huge. Hello. Wild Imp! Oh, hey, my dude. Are you enjoying the duels? My man, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's up, buddy? Your mog is all over the place. I seen you playing Classic a bit. How you liking Classic? I'm actually having fun a bit with it. Having a bit of fun with it. Hey, joining? I'm gonna guess that Hellstone says yes. Yeah, hey, dude. My boy. Alrighty, we gotta queue another one. Hopefully I'll see you in that one. I hate it, leveling his booty. Hold on, I gotta respond, hold on. Yeah. Solo leveling is booty. But it's fun with friends. If you like the slow burner. Oh no. Atho has ally group with Seavark. I'm gonna start with no friends. My guild is on Sulphurus. What server are you on? Hey, it's my boy, Wild Imp. Pagel. Oh, cool. Pagel is a big server. I do have an alt on Mancrick. Pretty big horde server. Might be better. Make a tune. I guess you already used your boost though, huh? Let me ask him actually, did he already use his boost? He said Pagel, mistake of my life, because he already used the boost on Pagel, then he kind of like SOL, he will have to level a whole new character then, huh? Nope. Oh. So there is still a chance, unless you are trying not to boost at all. Oh. Is at TBC already with boosts. Is probably boring. Yeah, I would imagine leveling by yourself right now is pretty boring. You know what I mean? Pretty boring. Wog is 2 times more fair than any druid healing. You actually lose damage to heal on red. Well, not really. You don't lose that much damage because you're so... Most of your damage isn't sustained damage. Most of your damage is burst damage. So as long as you have your ward of... As long as you can ward of glory outside of your cooldowns. But when you are popping CDs, then you're doing some damage. I love playing on non-dead servers. Fair enough. Favorite part is level and the benediction, so I'm gonna try it for there. Dope. Might as well. It's a lot more fun with friends, especially for me. Wouldn't really be leveling or having as much fun without I can't spell without guildies. Take huge damage on wings, you have to waste 12k damage not using templars. It's not, well, so the way I see it, it is damage loss, but it's not as big because as long as you have damage during Seraphim, as long as you have damage during your setups, as long as you have damage during your goes, you're fine. There's some classes in the game that need sustained damage over time. Paladins isn't one of those classes. Paladins, as long as you have cooldowns and a stun and they don't have a trinket, you can get the 0 to 100. So you basically buy time until a Hodge. So all that damage in between is pretty much irrelevant. You don't really need it. There are some classes out there that need damage to set up before the stun you, like to get you low enough kidney shot and then lock you down and then maybe get the kill. Paladin isn't one of those classes. Paladin is a class with a lot of bursts. So I don't think they really need Templar's Verdicts back to back just to get someone low. Because they can 100 to 0 with full CDs. Alrighty, let's queue it up, boys. Let's queue it up. Okay, I need to retype the thing again. Alex and Athaman. Yo, Dal Potato, my man. Athaman got a group of alliance with Seavark and the boys. You're always more than welcome to join them, man. Always welcome. Alex and Athaman. Here we go. That's a massive damage loss. Not arguing Paladin needs sustain. I'm saying Feral literally healing is literally better than red. And they don't lose literally anything for it. That's true. They will not really lose anything for it, I guess. They need to get aggressive to get the self heals, but I guess they do have like renewal, bear from frenzy regen, Swiftman, just spam and regrowth. Yeah, I guess if you're right on that. I can disagree with that. For this one global to heal Paladin is 2-3 plus 12k damage minimum. Technically, yes. I don't know. I guess yes, you do sacrifice damage for healing. But I feel it's just there's so much value in the heal that you can make up that value damage wise later. So to me, it just doesn't seem like a net negative. To me, it seems like a net negative. But that's just in my eyes. Like we could probably go about it back and forth for like a while too, honestly. But I see what you mean though. Like I agree with you. Yeah, one has to build up holy power and this bunch of damage and healing. The other just gets a proc, you know, or pop in bear form. I guess if you could argue that when you pop in bear form, you can't do damage while you're cat form. But if you already have bleeds rolling, which is majority of the damage, I guess you still do. We could go back and forth. I get you though. Switch. We got ourselves Broton on one team with Kobrak. We got ourselves Christina. We got ourselves Vargan as enhancement and Yellow Lizard trying to play more of Frost. I wonder if he got his conduits all set up. Hopefully he did, because conduits are definitely going to help out. Athman going to be first. Athwoman going to be first up. It's going to be Wolves up and running for Var very, very early as Athma going for just a kite spree. It is really cool seeing a Necrolord, Necromancer looking Paladin though. It actually looks kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie. I actually love it. Seraphim available for Athwoman. Has himself a big setup. Stun coming down onto Athma. Does get hit with it. It's gonna trick it human racial out of it. Big damage into Vargan. Vargan does go for a massive heal with the wall after. How did he even survive the full burst? That was Athma with the biggest go possible. Actually, massive go. Actually, huge Jamie. That was kind of rough to deal with. Gonna be static totem. Athma does he can turn around and take down the totem if he wants to. Bust out of here if he wants to. But that static totem isn't gonna let him go otherwise. He's gonna boop him out of it and keep him in there. Sunder getting set up by Var. Got himself full elemental rolling. Trinketing out of that one. I guess he's trying to get aggressive and stay aggressive while he can. Shadowlands is up for Athma. That thing is probably going to pop between the elemental and the shaman, which isn't going to be the worst amount of damage possible. Var is struggling a little bit to break that shield though. It's taking it very, very easy. He's going to get himself another set of wolves, another elemental blast. If he can get an interrupt onto Athma on Holy, he'll actually be in such a good spot. I don't think Athma is going to let him do that though. He's just going to go for build the holy power. Just try to wait out until next Seraphim is back up and running, and then he'll be good to go. Does use Wake of Ashes to get some big damage rolling too. But he's okay for the time being. Stun coming down to Atho. Does he get hit with the stun? He doesn't get clipped by it. Seraphim up and Atherman is ready to swing, dude. Setting up the gavel, ready to go. Flashcraft getting interrupted. It's going to be a wreck and a big chunk of damage onto VAR. Does have the Maelstrom banked up to recover from the big hit immediately. Playing that elemental shield, so I wonder if, or earth shield. So I wonder what kind of legendary this man is rolling. Is this rolling the Ghost Wolf legendary? So you can get more rolls back quicker? I guess I could see for myself, can't I? He is. He actually... Is he? Wait, is he? I can't tell. I guess we'll know in a bit. Let's see how well he generates Maelstrom. While he's back up and available, he is playing the Lego, so he's trying to get more rolls up and running. So I wonder if he's playing the Flame Shock build as well, where Flame Shock will do more damage, and he can have more like a sustained playstyle, kind of .E playstyle with the wolves and such. And I would imagine Earth Shield, Elemental Shield, Lightning Shield might even be better than Earth Shield at that point. Earth Shield is pretty good for self-survivability, but Lightning Shield gives you lots of Maelstrom. So you might actually be able to get more wolves up and running. It is definitely a suggestion. Stun trying to come down onto Aetherwoman, doesn't have a way to stop it. Woos it back up, trying to see if he can make himself a big go. Got himself Bloodlust available, no, Bloodlust, actually, I think Bloodthirst. The Orc Racial. Atherman is swinging for the fences with a big Seraphim available. Says going to be Sunder as VAR trying to see if he can bow out of there. Ather having to go for big damage. Stricken available for VAR. Ather might have to bubble. It does have a Shield of Vengeance rolling. That's going to be still full CDs available. Big hits to VAR. If he busts down through this Shield of Vengeance while wings are up, he might be in trouble. Trying to keep Atherwoman at bay. That's going to be Battle Master Chicken getting used, and Atherwoman is going to have adaptation breaking him out of that hex. That static shield static charge totem, that thing actually was pretty good, dude. It's like an electrical fence. You just gotta fence someone off. It's kind of crazy. You can only pick between L Blast and Lash of Flames. Oh, okay, so he is not able to get Lash of Flames. I forgot. What's up, Chicago? How you doing, fam? Are you playing? You want to participate? Big Ellie Blast coming out for VAR. Maybe try to go for the big Ellie Blast play. Like, go for a bunch of lightning bolts with the decimating bolt. Not decimating, primordial bolt. Bunch of zaps into Ellie Blast. Just needs to make sure there's plenty of Maelstrom ready. That's going to be a big old stun into Aetherwoman. But he doesn't really have a lot of damage. The Shaman doesn't really have a lot of damage to follow up after. He does need to get his Ghost Wolves up and running for the next go. But so far, Aetherwoman has been able to survive it quite well. Was that a Grounding Totem by VAR? I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I think it might have been the Windfury Totem, maybe? Potentially? Possibly. VAR trying to set himself up some lightning bolts, got his wolves up and running. Aetherwoman still held on to plenty of defenses, trying to go for a cast in front of his face. Is going to get a full Fleshcraft off either way. With the Shield of Vengeance available, that's a lot of absorbs getting set up. Seraphim up and running. But it's going to be a Sunder by VAR, just trying to see if he might be able to peel away from Ather. Doesn't quite catch him in an electric fence. Man, that totem looks awesome, by the way. That effect looks incredible. VAR sells plenty of Maelstrom to keep himself alive, but Atho got the big procs ready to go. Which is a full Seraphim Wings wombo combo and no trick out of VAR, and he'll be in a good spot. But actually, VAR has his trinkets lined up together with Atherman's wings. So as long as VAR isn't eating the wings with full burst and is able to outlive it, it's actually in a great spot. So it's actually doing okay. He got his cooldowns perfectly lined up against Atho, so these two are just going to be brawling out in the middle for a bit. It's going to be a stun onto Atho. Does actually human racial out of it. Seraphim available. Most likely will have wings here as well. Chicken available here as soon as he sees the wings from Aetherwoman. And it's going to be Atho actually caught himself kind of low on health. It's going to be a Hex that Atho can't really heal himself for the time being. And VAR just looking to get the hell away from the Pala. It's going to be a static field totem. Does wipe out the totem in a single global, but still finds himself kind of low on health. As soon as the shield is off, he is going to be kind of behind. He needs to be very careful of his health. No more wings available. Ghost Wolves are joining the fight with a Frost Shock rolling in. Does VAR finally get himself a big setup? Dropping down totem for Windfury. Looking for them procs, looking to get the big damage in. Elemental Blast is out. Might be able to get enough damage in. Lightning Bolts are rolling out with that Primordial. But that's going to be a stun for Atho. He's looking for a bit of a reset himself. Got himself plenty of healing. 9% dampening rolling in. How much of a Flash Alliance to use up all that mana? And does at least have Stun Totem on one side. I was going to say, does at least have Slam to hit, but I didn't realize it was Totem on the other side. VAR getting interrupted on Hex. Atho's still looking pretty good though. With a bubble in hand, I think he's going to be okay. For VAR, he just needs to find like the procs and just lock down Atho, maybe get the interrupt on Holy, which is good, but Atho has a flash cap to follow up right after. That's exactly what he wanted. He doesn't really need to cast in front of his face ever. Hodge onto Var. Does Atho have enough damage? Big wreck coming down. Does he get the big procs? Trying to go for the big Divine Storms. Is able to chuck out a good portion of health from Var with that Divine Storm, double Divine Storm temporal combo off of this Gavel from the Necrolord Covenant. But it's just not enough. It's so close, but it's just not enough. So Var is going to cycle in the Earth Elemental to try to stay alive here. 15% dampening. Both of them find themselves kind of at half-ish health. But I don't think their healing should be suppressed enough to really make a difference here at the moment. As still holding on to big defenses. Wings coming up very, very soon. Var holding on to a trinket for those wings. Got himself some wolves up and running as Atho finds himself kind of lowish on health. Shield of Vengeance available if he needs to, if he wants to use it. And he might just have to delay it until later. Has Shield of Vengeance. If he can somehow get a big setup with wings and everything onto Var with Shield of Vengeance, he'll be in a great spot. Stun onto Var. Wings are up. There's going to be Shield of Vengeance proccing up. Fires him and finds himself low on health. Does not panic with a bubble just yet. Just goes for the calm Word of Glory. Two of them, in fact. Hex coming out of Var, trying not to get interrupted on it. Has a slow for Atho. And is going to hit him with that electric fence totem. The static field totem, I think it's called. Crazy. Actually crazy. Var maintaining himself, dude. That Maelstrom healing is still pretty up there. It rivals Word of Glories, dude. We got those two champions with the most amount of healing. You got consistent damage of Var and the burst of damage of Atho. Find himself kind of low. Actually super low. Stun onto Var. Playing it very, very defensively. Ghost rules do disappear. This is where Atho is looking for a bit of a reset himself. As long as he doesn't get interrupted, he'll be okay. As long as he doesn't get trapped on a Holy, he'll be just fine. Got himself plenty of holy power to generate for those Word of Glories. But this Word of Glories is starting to wane a little bit, I think. He needs himself a good wings proc with those Word of Glories to really top himself off, I believe. As Var got himself wolves, he got himself the consistent pressure, consistent setup. Doesn't trap him holy, has plenty of flash cap to get him up and running. So the flash cap is going to be pretty good for him. Gives him a little bit of the immunity to CC, gives him a little bit of healing. Burns through it very quickly though. Var ends up burning through it very quickly. Athaman does recover on health. And I wonder how this is going to come down at the very end of this. I think by the 10-11 mana mark, going to be a stun onto Var. Did have a pre-wall ready for a second. Athaman doesn't really have the procs to follow. Didn't have himself the gavel set up or nothing. Didn't have ashes actually. If he had only ashes, like Wake of Ashes, he might have been okay. I have to try to get some heals in between. Is he actually in a position where he might want to bubble this? Shield of Vengeance is available. He might need to wait a little bit until a little bit later for that Shield of Vengeance. Trium and Racial out of that stun totem does get a Shield of Vengeance. It won't get the biggest proc without the wings. And Var just trying to make sure he got himself plenty of health to work with. Does get interrupted. Flash cap of his own coming out. Wings are up for Atho. Does he go for a full Hodge? Hopefully not, while Var has himself a full shield rolling. The shield does get blasted through pretty quickly. Var is behind on damage himself for a bit. But does he have the self-heal? Does he have survivability for now? No, wall for a bit, but it looks like he's doing A-okay. Atho just doesn't have the pressure he needs for the time being. I think he's trying to wait for a full Seraphim. But the wings are down, so he's going to desync a little. Ticket available for Var. Might as well press it. It won't quite sync up with wings, but it'll still be okay. Bubble out of Athaman, and Var just needs to survive the burst from the Paladin while the bubble is up. Athaman not even trying to go for the self-heals, trying to make whatever damage he can. Var has him stuck in that static field totem, but looks like Var backs up himself as well. At least one of these guys is going to go down eventually, but I do wonder who it is going to be down to. Wolves are back up for Var. Got himself that extra sustained pressure, walling this damage off, just so he doesn't have to worry about self-heal. Just trying to stay aggressive, but the hand of hitters does prevent him from continuing his onslaught versus Atho. Landing that interrupt on Holy. Does he have enough damage to follow up? Elemental Blast is up. Shield of Vengeance is up in a few seconds. Fleshcraft is up. Does not have an interrupt for it. Does get it very, very late. Seraphim is available. Shield of Vengeance should be up right now. Does have it if he needs to. And Athaman, I think, is just trying to make some damage back to Var, trying to equalize the health bars a bit. Might have to pop a Shield of Vengeance early. Actually, trying to delay the Shield of Vengeance until later. Got himself plenty of self-heals. There goes Shield of Vengeance for the Ghost Wolves, which might not be the worst for either one of these two. For Atho, it's extra absorb from the Wolves. For Var, it is extra shield absorb. Oh my goodness, it really came down. I was really thinking the Wolves were going to help him split that Shield of Vengeance, but I think the Wolves might have gotten a little bit too far away from Atho, or at least one of the Wolves. So Var took the brunt of the blast of that Shield of Vengeance. Super unfortunate. Super unfortunate. 2 hours later, that was a long duel for certain, but those two did not want to back down. That was an excellent duel. And Colbrack, the obviously real Colbrack, boys, obviously real Colbrack, is up next. Hodge by Atha, going to be sucking by CC, does have adaptation, breaking him out. Wings and full burst is available, has himself the gavel. Colbrack looking to get the hell out of dodge, does get himself soul shape for that great mobility. Big old port to follow. And Atha looking for that line of sight. 12 minutes of the duel, 44% dampening. And he's gonna have to weigh the paladin on his cooldowns, I guess. He is playing the Drain Life Legendary, so he's gonna have himself plenty of self heals. Locked out on fire. Did he still Cataclysm while on fire? Is Cataclysm Shadow Flame damage? Maybe that's why. I never realized that Shadow Flame. So if you're locked on fire, you still get the shadow damage. Drain Life is still available for Corback. While Atha got himself in full red, going to be Infernal coming down. No bubble available for Atha. If Corback can get Athaman low enough, Shadow Fury right after. Still more Drain Life is available. Another Fury to follow. Shield Avengers is going to keep him alive for a bit longer. Chaos Bolt 1 into Chaos Bolt 2. Athaman had no health at all. Corback ports next to him. Instant cast. Execute. Down for the count. The Paladin goes. Very well done. It looks like Iniquity is up next. Got himself the Blowed Fly approaching with his full armor that is rolling up. Silence onto Corback. Does have the big grips if he needs to. Could go for a big old grip if he wanted. Looks like he's not going to be able to. Corback trying to see if he can avoid the army. The army is doing a significant amount of damage to him though. There's only so much you can really do against the army. Grippy Hand is available for Iniquity. Going to be short stun by the pets. Full stun by Iniquity. Got the Slappy Hand available. Bonzafilla is up for Corback onto Iniquity. Does walk out of it. Mortal Coil does hit him. Is going to be able to deal with the shadow damage quite well. Corback at no health at all. I think it's basically over. If he just does one more hit, one more slap for Corback, he'll be okay. Corback does recover health passively. Big Drain Life onto the pet. Does remove the pet immediately. Just dismisses it and summons a new one. Doesn't want to give him any kind of self heals at all. Probably looking for maybe a stun around the corner to Iniquity. It's going to be easy Drain Lives off of those pets. Look at the amount of healing this Warlock has recovered in a short moment. At 54% dampening. Trying to go for a stun. Iniquity not interrupting just yet. Getting hit with a second CC. Corback can maybe get himself a big go. Plenty of self heals available. Not a lot of mana to work with. So you better be very, very careful with his mana. AMS is up. Iniquity does have immunity to all the casts for a moment. Does get an arcane interrupt, I think. Some of you guys, I think it's nature interrupt with the Soul Rod, but some of you guys I think said it's arcane actually. It's arcane damage, so it doesn't lock you out on fire or shadow. Or is it shadow damage? I'd be kind of surprised if it wasn't shadow damage. Silence onto Corback, no way to stop Iniquity, and down he goes. With Broton, I believe, is up next. Also, we are missing somebody on team 1. It looked like they did bow out. I don't know who bowed out though. Or did they just immediately die against Atho? I think it was an enhancement shaman Atho first of the duel. I don't know who was the 5th on team 1. But they did bow out. Broton went for a convoke. Huh. Was he trying to go for a Starfall? With a convoke? Did you miss it? Misplay maybe? Interesting. Interesting. I think it might have been a misclick. They didn't have to do me like that down in the Warlock video. Much love, brother. Which one, middleman? Which one are you talking about? From today? That one? That was just a Demonology Warlock dude doing this thing. Broton does have Starfalls rolling. Does he pick up the star? The star burst? Can he pick up more than one of them? He has 3. Did he pick up only one? I think he can only pick up one at a time, but he does have a starburst on him. Does walk up to Iniquity, knock it up in the air with one of these things. Trying to see if he can walk him through these things. Gonna be a big old grips available. Does have plenty of mobility to work with. Probably should be walking him through the starburst if those things are still up. Big damage onto Broton though. Big slappy hand. Yeah, I don't think you can really. Ooh, I don't think it might be kind of tough to walk a Death Knight into those things, or will it? He was walking towards some starburst, and then you kind of turn around. I think you kind of want to get Iniquity out from behind the pillar, and then drop a bunch of starbursts on him. Kind of like you want to walk in, get some damage, but also have a starburst in case the DK grips it to kind of interrupt them. Oh, maybe real rough. Group up an alley, 1 spot left. There we go, boys. Is Wild Dim part of the group? Is your boy Wild Dim part of that group, by the way? Oh, pretty cool if he is. Poly onto Iniquity does drop down Antimatic Zone really early. And Yellow Lizard trying to pick up some damage from the pet with a couple frostballs, just picking up some lances. Deathborn is available. Iniquity just AMSing out of there as Yellow Lizard has himself full burst available with Deathborn, but Iniquity ain't going nowhere, dude. Blizzard on one side, the Slime on the other, and Iniquity looks like he's going to be A-okay for now and doesn't want to walk out of there against the mage whatsoever. Not going to walk out while the cooldowns are rolling. So it's a little unfortunate. Actually, very unfortunate. Because Yellow has all these Deathborns, dude. Look at them. Look at the squad. The squad is rolling out, boys. Also, I like the way they'll hold the skull in their hand. It like doesn't have any like animation to it, really. Doesn't have physics for it or nothing. Kind of weird. Not gonna lie. Lances, though, are attacking Iniquity, doing quite a bit of damage as he's trying to make his way across from one pillar to the next. And at 76% dampening, not much you can really do. Yellow does have ice blocks. Iniquity, on the other hand, doesn't really have a way to heal himself. Flash Grab might be somewhat helpful. Could be a grip potentially as the mage trying to get himself a setup. Big grip coming out with a silence to follow. Iniquity, does he have the big go right after? Powers his pet and everything, but does he really have a go? It's going to be a AMS available for the Death Knight. Does at least immune some of the frost damage as Yellow Lizard just going to go for big damage. Frost damage to break the AMS pretty quickly. Stun onto the mage, trinkets out of it, trying to maintain maybe potentially distance from Iniquity. The grips coming out back to back. Lichborn is up for Iniquity to get some sort of healing as he got Chain of Ice rolling onto Yellow Lizard. Polly trying to come out for the mage. Ice block has to come out. There it goes. The conduit is there. Got the conduit, but it's super high in dampening at 81% that he doesn't actually have any kind of healing from it. He's trying to get whatever heal he can, but dude, this so late in the game, there's no healing. Those shields barely do any healing either. Trying to get some decent procs onto Iniquity. Got himself fully slow. Big group by the Death that does Trinket, I think, out of those slows just to get close enough to the Yellow Lizard to get him down a little bit. Big blast going out. Iniquity actually goes for a necrotic out his health with the Death Packs. Full silence on the Yellow Lizard. No health available for Iniquity. Another ice block. If anything, Yellow Lizard most likely will end up getting this kill. Iniquity turning attention now to the pet. I think either trying to kill it or get some runic power to Death Strike off it. And Yellow tried to set up another pet. I think it might be down for the count. The Iniquity, I think, has him low enough. The shields are up. Just needs one or two more lances onto Iniquity, and he might just have it. Yellow Lizard at no health whatsoever. One more pet attack, and he's probably done. He needs to get a Nova onto Iniquity and just hit him with something, anything. Ice Nova on the pet. Does get dotted up. Does he have enough shields? Flesh Cut potentially. Trying to keep those pets Nova as best as they can. It is down to the wire between the two, dude. Nobody has any health. Could be anyone's game. The shields are up for Yellow Lizard. They do get drained very, very quickly. Actually, no health. Down he goes with an auto check through the wall. At that high of dampening, there's not much you can do. Atherman went for 1.3 million damage just against one guy? Bruh. I guess him and Enhancement Shaman did have a very long game, didn't they? Burned through 1 million of health, dude. Crazy. Actually crazy. Lapse in off healing. I'm using the druid. Glad you're doing this. Was able to learn so much for the show in my guild. I lost to Warlock. Oh, you're good, my guy. I mean, I wasn't trying to make a video showing how Houston got blasted by Warlock. But I just enjoyed the game. That's all it was. And I posted all of them. Wins or losses, man. You know what I mean? But hey, man. He doesn't have to be the last time he joined the duels. Come in next time. Slam some kills out of the way. Maybe go for a 1v5. Get a roll in Discord. That could be pretty fun. You know what I mean? Why are people so try hard in these? Bro, nobody wants to lose, man. I do like it how it does like some of the games are fun when they come down to like wire like that. Like nobody has any healing, and it's really down to just like, okay, who's gonna get the proc? And they could have just tried to like cheese it as much as they can. It is pretty funny in my eyes. But yeah. Yeah, I do agree. Sometimes it does feel try hard. We got us a Chicago. Maybe Del Potato with him. I see ya. Oh, it does look good. That mog looks really good on you. Look at you. Your pet on one side. It does look really good on you. Yeah, dude. Right now they're letting you kind of mog as whatever covenant. Like you could be Necrolord, you could be Kyrian and mog this. 4 out of 5 Chris's group. Okay. Still full group. Yo, Skew. I guess we could do Atherman versus Chicago, right? I guess we could do Ather versus Chicago. Since they got a full group. Let's do that. Atherman and Chicago. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Yeah, the off healing is kind of crazy. I'm honestly, I'm kind of hoping the Blizzard does some kind of a huge radical change with it, with the off healing and stuff. Like, I'm not saying like it should nerf things to the ground, but I am hoping we get some crazy radical change, you know what I mean? Just some crazy, wacky, like, out of the blue update. It's gonna make people be like, damn, something. Some meta change and meta shift and stuff. And hopefully that won't be the worst. I do like changes in the World of Warcraft. I don't care if they're for the better or for the worse. I just like the game constantly changing. I think I've been pretty consistent when it comes to that. I'll complain about changes for sure. But I do like when the game is constantly changing, constantly evolving. Not so I'm a huge fan of these honor talents. Like, some of them don't have to be super amazing, but there's potential with them. There's some possibility. Covenant legendaries. I think some of them do need a second look at. Maybe make them a little bit stronger, because if they're niche in certain builds, at least there's use for them. But some of them just don't seem super powerful. But we'll see. I do like the video that I made with the Necrolord highlighting like 4 builds that I thought were interesting with Covenant Legos. I'm doing one for Venthyr, Kirin, and Faye. So it's definitely going to be pretty fun either way. Switch. We got ourselves together Team 2 with new people. We got ourselves Beast Fisker. Almost sounds like I said Beast Fister. Beast Fisker. Like, isn't Fisker's like a cat food brand? Or am I wrong on that? He literally got Razan with him. What is going on? Let the poor Razan be dead. Kiz got going to be first up versus Beast. Got himself in a full blind setup. Does Beast go for a trinket? He doesn't have a trinket. Huge damage out of Kiz God. Paladins didn't get nerfed on damage at all in 9-1. So they're still able to do this kind of a crazy, wacky, inflatable 2-man combo. Going to be Chicago up next. What kind of a builder we're playing here? We're seeing some heroism. I'm seeing a lightning shield, so that's interesting. It's going to be Earth Elemental up and running. Is playing the Necrolord. Probably has the Ghostwell build. Very interesting go. But that Hunter is out of here, dude. Just got knocked out of the park, dude. The home run for your boy Kizgod. Chicago got himself a couple of Ghostwells up and running. Should have plenty of Maelstrom to deal with Kizgod. Just to make sure he has a trigger for the big wings, as well as a big blind. As long as you can deal with one or the other, you will be okay. Plenty of Maelstrom in order to maintain yourself too. And it should be pretty good. I wonder if Chicago's playing any of the new honor talents here though too. Hand of Freedom is out for Kizgod. Able to keep himself moving. Is it Blessing of Freedom or Hand of Freedom? I think it's Hand of Freedom right now. Blessing of Freedom back in TBC. Gonna be stun on Chicago. Kizgod trying to get himself big procs on Chicago is going to get him super low. Battle match trigger coming in for the Shaman. Able to keep himself just a little bit longer as a Draenei. Did they use the Shaman or Draenei legendary, racial just yet? Big heroism available. Is Kizgod going to be able to outmatch the big bloodlust damage of Chicago? Is now looking like a tall lady from Resident Evil. Big zaps, big damage. Kizgod might just have to bubble this if he's not careful. This damage could definitely sneak up and you'd go for a safety bubble. And then safety bubble, he actually doesn't let Chicago get any kind of Maelstrom. Big flash cup to counter it, and Chicago is looking to get himself a bit of a setup themselves. So it's going to be a bit of a match between the two, back and forth, until Kizgod got a cooldown. So that's going to be Wolves up and running for Chicago. Should be able to bust through the shield advantage pretty easily. That shield does not seem to split damage with Ghost Tools well at all. So I think most NPCs like undead demons, or demons as well as the undead for Unholy DK, do end up splitting the damage pretty well. Ghost Wolves don't really split the damage of Shield of Vengeance. That is good to know. Maybe the Earth Elemental might, but not Ghost Wolves. It's going to be blind in Chicago. Kizgod trying to see if he can just knock it out of the park. Does he have enough damage? Is potentially there? Chicago goes in for a wall, tries to go for a heal, but does get slammed down with a hammer at the end. Wild Imp is going to be up next as a Demonology, the one, the only. Now known as Wild Imp. And we also got some Demonology buffs. I wonder if Wild Imp will take advantage of him. Fell Lord is pretty beefy now. He does a lot more damage. Soul Strike from the Felguard also does quite a bit of damage now. They buffed it quite a significant amount. Also, you have your Obelisk. I wonder if he's going to be playing that one today. Setting up a Fell Lord in case Kizgod wants to approach him. Going to be a full stun setup with the Tyrant. Blessing of potentially coming out for Kizgod. Most likely has a Mortal Coil if he needs to. That Tyrant is going to be able to blast him out though. Unless he has a way to stop the Tyrant. Does go for a Wake of Ashes. Drain Life is available for Wild Imp. The Blessing of Protection does come down. Dodging the Fell Lord. The Tyrant still slapping him around. Bubble not available for Kizgod anymore. Just have himself whatever healing he can. That's going to be Fell Lord missing that hit. Unforged. Wild Imp not playing the new Obelisk talent. He's just trying to play it out with the pets as he has Flesh Cuffed up off of that fear. And Kisgod no longer with Bubble, no longer with Bop. He's in a bit of a tough spot right now. Wildem throwing around into Mortal Coil, just thrashing the board around between Fears and Mortals. Trying to get the decimating bolts in there with more pets up and running. Just kind of trying to hold his ground as best as he can. So it does make me wonder what Autumn Towns he is running. Does anybody have a screenshot for what Wildimp is rolling with? Does have the interrupt, so I'm guessing he has the interrupt, Fell Lord, and what else does the Warlocks run? What else does the Warlocks run, actually? Interrupt, Fell Lord. I don't think he has armor, does he? I don't think Demon Logic has the armor. So I wonder what else he could be running. Fear onto Kisgod as Wildimp, getting more pets up and running. Oh, he probably has Instant Cast Demon Doggers, that's what it is. Instant Cast Demon Doggers, Interrupt, as well as a Feldor, which is a solid combo. I think Instant Cast Demon Doggers is kind of like a must for PvP, just to get your pets out quicker. Vile Fiend getting summoned up, more pets, and another Tyrant loaded up. It's going to be a stun to Kisgod right before he can go for Rebuke. Does not have a way to stop these demons. It looks like he actually might be going down. Wildimp trying to see if he can even load up a Decimating Bolt. Took him out, just staring the Deathly Paladin in the eyes as the demons just ravage him. If only he had a on-a-town to drop down the... If only had a way to drop down a obelisk in the middle, well, that dude, those pets would just be brutal, ruthless. Aetherwoman up next, man, from one paladin to the next. It's gonna be Fellord during the fight, or it's gonna be Fellord knockdown into stun, into a second Fellord knockdown. That's actually quite a bit of damage. Into, I think, another Felguard. There's just so many Felguards, Fell Lords, Fell people. You know what I mean? There's the Fell people. There's a lot of them in there. Gonna be a Fear onto Atho. Decimate Bolt getting set up. Demon Bolts can be quite deadly. They do more damage the lower the target's health is. Or rather, when you Decimating Bolt, you snapshot. Decimating Bolt does more damage the lower the target's health is. And when you send out a Decimating Bolt, the lower the target's health is, the more damage your next 3 Demon Bolts will do. Snapshot it. So if you basically almost execute somebody, it's like 199% more damage. I think if you basically execute them, it's basically 200% more damage for those Demon Bolts. Which don't do that much damage to begin with, but extra slaps of damage with all your pets attacking, it is significant. Pretty significant in my opinion. Fear trying to hit Atherman does get a shield advantage to proc, but I think it's split between Wildimp as well as all these pets, and the Flash God didn't even flinch from the Warlock. Trying to hold his ground versus these paladins, making him run back and forth, making sure there's quite a distance between where he's hanging out in and between the tombstone, the graveyard, and the cart. So there's not enough line of sight in the world. Bubble available for Atherman. Wildimp trying to see if he can walk out of here. Does he have the gateway? He has a port, I believe. There's going to be stun as Ather trying to go for the big damage. Wall available for Wildimp. Atherman, though, is actually just barraged by the army of imps, as well as the Tyrant. So the bubble wouldn't last him long enough. He actually needed to find cover. He just getting barraged. Wildimp does go for a big old port. Fear onto Atha. There's going to be Drain Life. That's going to be actually adaptation for Atha. Wildimp needs to get himself some sort of healing right now. He needs something. He's not in a great spot. Atho isn't either, actually. Actually, both of them are so low. Wait, does Atho go down? Wildimp summons some more pets. Interrupting Atho. Wait, could it be actually dead right here? Oh my god, it's so close. He's still silenced. Oh, do these pets have enough damage? Shield Advantage is going to keep him alive. Wow, that was actually so clutch. Atherman wasn't watching out himself too heavily, and Wildimp's pet just kind of snuck up the damage on him. Does he have a Mortal Coil to Ather? He does, with a stun right after. It's going to be a full Fear to follow. Atherman is just out in the open with more imps loaded up. Those imps will do quite a bit of damage though. Stun onto the pets with a Felguard stun. And that's going to be some healing for Ather while wings are up. Port available for Wildimp. Ather needs some healing right now though. Fear yet again with Drain Life up for Wildimp. Another Fear right after. He's just surviving, outliving this Paladin. This Paladin is in his best, the prime, while wings are up. A Wildimp is just able to best him. Flash Cut is up, does have a Rebuke for it. Handle Dawn's coming out. Wait, who's it going to be? Whose damage is going to be? What is it going to be? Atherman does it stun down real quick. Blessing of Protection. Wildimp is going to Drain Life. Trying to get a Tyrant, barely any health. Those imps almost did the damage they needed. And the Hunter XD does get a interrupt onto Ather. Flesh Cup does give him enough shield to survive this. That was so clutch. That was actually the clutchest duel ever, dude. Clutchest duel I've ever seen. The clutch fest that was. Jesus. Jesus. Oh, man. Insane. Actually insane. The Hunter XD Survival Hunter trying to see if he can get himself a good position versus Atho. He needs to kind of cut him out, let the dot damage do work. He doesn't really want to ever get in melee with Athoman. He'd rather just let the dots do work, but as he gets in melee, the big proc from the Gavel of the Necrolord Covenant is just doing work. It's just doing the damage he needs it to do. Atho trying to see if he can get a setup stun again onto Hunter. Does have a trigger for it. Athoman finds himself super low. Shadowlands is up if he needs to. Manning is up for the Hunter as Atho goes in for a flash of light. Muzzle available for the Hunter if he wants to do it. But he doesn't do it just yet. He doesn't do it just yet. Stun onto Atho. Shield of Venus not available. Ooh, unless he gets it off. He got it off at the last second. Might just want to go well in. Nope, playing it very defensive. The Hunter did not go for a harpoon or nothing. Probably should have, honestly. This way he needs to end the duel. Goes for a camo with a Manning bed, and she's just trying to go for surviving Festus, and that's going to be after catching up on all the healing. 9 minutes, 10 minutes into this duel. 31% dampening. And I think he's just making it... I think Hunter could have just ended the game right there. I think giving Atham an opportunity... Look at the bubble cooldown. It's actually coming back very, very soon. I think he is in a safety. He's got that safety bubble. In case things go bad. Feign death real quick for Hunter. Stun. No trinket available. Does have the pet sack, but is that going to be enough though? That pet is going to take the big hitter. I think the pet stunned. And there goes the Hunter XD dying as Atho absorbs his soul. Chill. Spill. Is it chills pill or chill spill? Like spilled coffee. Big damage out of Atho versus Chili. Into a bubble immediately. And Chill just needs to survive this bubble long enough to maybe turn the damage to Tesh'Aran. Does have himself AMZ. Is that going to be enough for the holy damage though? Hodge by Atho does bust out of it. That's going to be Dragon rolling in. Stun to Atho. Does he have enough? Does anybody take Atho at all? Ledgeborn with some healing available. That's not high enough dampening. So it does allow Chillpill to get through and heal himself a bit. Interrupting Athomim. With a Fleshcraft after. Oh no, dude. Got himself that Chain of Ice for Atho. Trying to keep him at bay with Fleshcraft rolling. Atho got the gavel. But is that gavel going to be enough though? I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. Chain of Ice after Atho. Just trying to keep him the hell out of dodge, dude. Just running him around circles. How am I doing this with my mouse? That was actually so smooth for a second. I have such a long mouse pad. I could just do that for such a long while. Chill Pill getting sounds out of Atho. Trickets out of immediately. It's going to be death back for Chill with cooldowns rolling. Not enough health. Now there's Atho. Stun to Atho. I think it might be over. And I think Chill Pill actually does end up eliminating Athoman with that obliterate at the end. Chain of Ice into Wargrin immediately. Man, it's not even Chill Pill's going old. This is just Chill Pill's playing against Paladin. It's his hair turned gray, dude. It's just like, it's such a close game every single time. MS is up for Chill Spill. Does have the AoE Fear onto that pet, but the Eagles, they're not magic. They're all physical and they go through with Wargrin taking them out. Well done, boys. Well done. Wow, Atho was just like a juggernaut, dude. Who was going to be able to eliminate him? It looked like nobody could. I think Wild Imp had a really, really clutch game with him. The Hunter was doing really well until he decided to go for a reset, and that reset ended up playing into the Paladin's favor. Because then the Paladin got to give himself a full reset. He just needs a stun, get a setup on you. You don't have a trick anymore. You kind of have to go. You got him low, but I feel like he should have just committed. If he just maybe he didn't have a harpoon when I was thinking like he could. He probably didn't. Maybe he thought playing safe might be better. And generally playing defensive is good, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like in another universe, I wonder what would happen if he did chase. I feel like, I want to say my gut says he might have been alright. Might have been able to end it there. Wild Imp had such a good go with Atho, dude. It was so close, dude. From one paladin to the next is actually pretty difficult for a lot of classes. Into duels in particular. That was awesome, boys. That was awesome. I enjoyed that one a lot. I like that one a bit. How many are we at? 53, dude. That's a lot of duels over on PTR, man. That's a lot of duels in PTR. Hopefully, Blizzard has a pretty big update Tuesday or Wednesday for like PvP stuff. I'm hoping we'll see some adjustments because they talked about like defensive healing. I don't wonder if they'll end up dealing with it somehow. I mean, is здорово, Dalaran, как serve Huntive 91. Как эти Как они, PvP или PvE? PvP или PvE? В PvP они... Я думаю, будет нормально. Что это? Kill Command, Raptor Strike, Mongoose Bite, все делают 15% больше дамажи. Я не знаю, как просто сказать. Damage. I want to kind of like have a funny word for it. Ну что, если... Ничего нового. Некоторые новые таланты, но ничего больше этого не добавляли. Я не думаю. Я думаю, это будет нормально. Я думаю, это будет не хуже, не лучше, чем сейчас. Может, чуть-чуть лучше, потому что новые таланты выглядят нормально для аренах. Ну, для дуэлях, я не знаю, они, они utility, они, defense, больше, чем offense. That's the best Russians they could do. Basic experience are all hundreds. I think they're going to be more or less same. A lot of their on talents are defensive more than offensive. Was the last one, Caps? I think it was the last one. Roton, 4 out of 5. Alex side. I think we're going to call it there, boys. We might do more of them next week. If we have Blizzard, if we have this Tuesday, Wednesday, Blizzard announce that. Let's do this. If Blizzard announces that this 14th or 15th. Okay, it's different because we're okay. It's okay. So yesterday on EU, you guys' week starts on a Monday. For us, it starts on a Sunday. So then for us, reset is Tuesday. For you guys, it's Wednesday. But anyway. So for us, if this Tuesday 15th, Blizzard announces 29th is 9.1 release, I think what we'll do Saturday is EU duels, and I think we'll do Friday EU duels, Saturday, which is like, you guys, Friday duel is EU, Saturday is PTR, or maybe we'll do NA. Just do as many duels of 9.0 because we're not going to be able to play it ever again. We'll see, right? If 15th announced that there's going to be... If 15th announced that in 2 weeks, 9.1 comes out, get ready for it, which will be pretty exciting. I would love it, personally. Then we'll probably do as many live duels as we can. Because, 9.1 is coming out very soon. This is going to be the last opportunity for us to play 9.05. Enjoy it as much as we can until it's gone. And then we'll just have a new palette with new honor talents. You know what I mean? Sort of PvP 9.1. Для нового они они нормальные, они не лучше, не хуже, чем сейчас. Опять, новые анаталанты нормальные, но они, utility или defensive, таланты защищать друзья, не атаковать врагах больше. Они нормальные, но ничего... Они окей. Они не такие крутые таланты, как другие классы, новые таланты. Они 1v1 будут типа самые, какие сейчас. If US will have teams, I'm sure I'll have time, hard to gather teams to fight. If US will have teams, I'm sure we can squeeze some teams together. I have no problem with it, like Seavark, Night King, Chicago. I'm sure we'll be able to do something together, boys. The last time we had a hard time finding teams. I mean, it took us a little bit, but you can always get one with Chicago, War Grand, Night King. You can get the boys in there, you know what I mean? Last few because there's also going to be people coming back for the seasonal stuff. People are going to be trying to get those seasonal mounts, grind out the rating. Once Blizzard announces like a 2 week before season's over, people are going to be able to get their titles, get the rating, get the mounts, get whatever. So more people will be PvPing most likely in the last 2 weeks of the season before the next season. That's usually how things go. As people try to get the rating, try to go for Gladiator, all that stuff. Because it's like, hey, we only got 2 weeks to finish it. So people will be more likely. We'll see how it goes. Like, maybe it won't work well. But yeah, if 15th or Wednesday or Tuesday, Blizzard says, hey, 9.1 is on 29th, as the rumor suggested, we'll just do a lot of live stuff. Because, you know what? PTR stuff, we tested a lot of it. And I feel like a lot of us are going to play it. I reported bugs, and I'm hoping you guys reported some of the bugs here and there, like the Necrolord shield stuff. Actually, let's do this. Let's report a bug. New shards of domination gems, particularly the one that grants a shield. seems to break other absorbs in the game in regards to PvP. Yeah, if you guys wanna help me out too, that'll be one more thing we can report. I'll show you exactly how to do it. Tested. We played. I'm pretty sure Blizzard has it recorded somewhere in the data. Dude, I mean, when people do the BGs and skirmishes, I'm sure Blizzard has it recorded, honestly. I think Blizzard has this stuff recorded. Also, I like how there's a map when you look on the map. When you're first person, like it actually shows you the item. But yeah, if you guys want to go over here to this guy, go to the second to last page, finding this Shard of Cure, and press F6 on that thing. Breaks shields in PvP. Game is too broken to be tested. This game sucks. Oh, no. Well, PTR is gonna be broken. PTR is gonna have some things that are not working properly, but that's why it's PTR. I feel like us not doing anything about it is just gonna leave things broken. Us reporting it at least is hopefully gonna help stuff out. You know what I mean? Us reporting the bugs is gonna make the game better. Not reporting the bugs is gonna keep the same bugs so we can complain about it later, I guess. What's the name like the Dalaran Kulturen? Yeah, I use Kulturen, but it's also Russian. I was born in Russia, so I learned Russian as first language. Although nowadays speaking English so often, I barely speak Russian. You know what I mean? What's up, guys? This is Corb. Yo, what's up, guys? This is Corb. I miss his intros, dude. I miss Cobrak and PvP, man. He made PvP and WoW fun. Although I know he doesn't enjoy it anymore. I feel like if he just would have continued, he definitely would be one of those guys. I feel like if he would have continued, whether in Classic, whether in Retail, but you know what, he's just like, you know what, he decided, you know what, wow, wasted too much time on it, gotta move on. So I do gotta give him credit there, you know what I mean? see Red Alert 3 theme, Soviet March. Oh no. Oh no. I won't play it just in case it's DMCA or whatever. I doubt it is video game music, but it has a EA label, so I'm scared of the bat. I'm so late. It's a good Celtic. Hope you have a good one, my guy. Your Dala went Ventier with 1 proc to get 50% Versa. 1 proc. That's unfortunate. Hopefully you'll get more in the future. I think when you have more versatility, it gives you versatility, right? Cob. Hey guys, Cob here. Yo, Alex, can you link me the soulbind that gives you Versa or crit? Real quick. Cobb just said he had enough, spoke with him once or twice. Yeah, I guess like people gotta move on at some point, right? People eventually gotta move on, and that is okay. And that is just fine. If you're interested in playing Outlaw Rogue for 9, what's the best common for 9-1? Her Necrolord is nuts. Yeah, Necrolord is looking really good right now. It's probably gonna be really good for Mythic Plus's next patch. I like Ventier. Ventier is not a bad one either. None of the covenants are really bad either. Fatal Flaw. Does it give you the... whichever screen you have more of. Dude, that's actually 20% extra versatility every single time for PvP. You just gotta go into combat and you'll have a bit of a delayed burst, but it'll actually work out really, really well. And the Chicago over here, what's up, fam? How you boys doing? Wish there was some Demon Hunters to do. I know, me too, dude, me too. But they're not like super strong and super easy to play in PvP in the current live version of the game. I feel like if there were, like back in BFA, Demon Hunters were everywhere. Survivable, lots of damage, bar power is insane for them. So like it was a recipe for disaster where they were just getting so much value. Maybe we try to Purple Haze to join the duels. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. If Purple Haze is down to join, I think we'll do at least one more PTR session then next week. I think we'll do that, but I definitely want to get more live. If like we know that 9-1 is coming out, if we got new people and some new on challenge stuff next week, we'll definitely do PTR. But I do want to, if we do know by Tuesday or Wednesday, 9-1 is coming out in 2 weeks, then we'll have to do more live stuff. Just because, like, let's just play out the live games until we're sick of them, and then the next batch comes out and it's a palate cleanser. You know what I mean? Necro Red is spicy, my dude. If they manage to connect, yeah, that'll be really strong. I'm actually excited to see if you'll actually end up playing it for Retribution, or are you gonna still stick to Ventier? Because Ventier is pretty good. August release, Ink Sag. Dude, that'd be insane if they did that. I'm still hoping it'll be the rumor of 29th. You know what I mean? If it is actually August release, that'll actually be so Sag. You're an evil Korean. What? That's kind of messed up. What? I love those translations, dude. Whole year PTR, yeah. But then again, I've heard stuff like I've heard stuff like it's gonna be 2022. I heard people saying that 9.1 is released in 2022, 2024. And honestly, like, I mean, if they're gonna make us still wait till August, they might as well make us wait until 2022. At that point, you know what I mean? Like, at that point. I'm not even joking either. At that point, might as well. It's silly. I've been having fun with 9.1 though. I feel like 9.1 does look pretty ready. That's why I'm like really hopeful that it's gonna be 29th or something. But it has so many flaws in PvP. It does, but you seem to enjoy it for a tanking purposes, Atho. That's what I'm saying. Like, you've been doing keys a lot. You've been doing it on 20s done. Which, Atho, by the way, dude, if they ever let EU and NA play together, it'd be so fun to do keys with you. 9.1 looks good to BH. I do like it though. I think Corsair has gotten much better as a zone. There's a lot more to do there now. Medieval. And PvP stuff, Ruan. Well, Matt, if it's gonna last another year for 9.2 release, I don't think they're gonna make 9.2 another year. No, I think they just had delays. I think it's just the delays, you know, like everybody having to delay things. I mean, I guess it maybe could have released 9.1 as it was fully buggy. I don't think it would have made for a good patch. I feel like at least like it's gonna be a pretty decent patch, and I don't think they're gonna make 9.2 that long. I think Blizzard devs themselves have actually been like trying to get back in the office. I don't think they're trying to do... I think they're still doing a lot of remote stuff, but I think they're doing it less and less. I think they're populating their office and actually getting people back inside, which is how they get a lot of the work done. So hopefully we won't have to wait that long. I've done all 20 keys of today. Time into TOP and 20 felt like killing Argus Mythic. Yo, I imagine. I did a 21 Sanguine the other day on my Rogue. It was actually pretty easy. But we also had a group that was like key boys, you know what I mean? Like the pugs, but it went really well. And also the tank knew the strat in order to get the best route. He knew it like the back of his hand. So it worked really well. Sweating at the end? Yeah, I bet. Yeah, TOP is probably not easy at all. I would imagine that Sanguine Depths is easier than TOP, honestly. You know what I mean? You lose. Yeah, dude, I remember line spamming that all the time. That was pretty funny. Back in the day. Yeah. What's up, Tron? How you doing, my man? How you doing, my dude? You look so evil. You look so angry. And there's Christina. What's up, fam? Christina looks mildly happy. Mildly chilling. I've been seeing more and more people running around with an Azad. Smile at the camera, boys. One is easy. Play meta class to play non-meta comp, remember? That's true. That's true. We had a Frost Mage, Enhancement Shaman, Holy Paladin, and a Blood DK. And an Out with a Rogue. So I guess we had more meta than what you guys usually have, but yeah. I don't know. Have a good night, dude. Thanks so much for coming by, Broton. Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks. Like this evil side of me. It looks good, man. It looks pretty cool. For monks, they look usually so serene and peaceful, but you're just looking like really spooky, really scary. You know what I mean? Doo-doo-doo. Would you count Blood DK as a meta class for... I guess they're not bad for keys. I doubt they're... I don't think any of the tanks are really that bad nowadays. Like, maybe at like 25s, 26s, like Bear and Demon Hunter do seem to be more survivable, more utility. Bear actually just as a tank. Actually is the tankiest of tanks. And that's decent AoE damage. Especially during the thrash. When they can just thrash and thrash and thrash while in within card. But yeah. I do need to get my 20s done. I really want to try to get 20s next season. So I can have like the achievement for it. And have some guildies that will probably be playing. Is anything bad in your eyes? Well, I don't know. Because like, you guys know I like off-meta stuff, right? Like, when people tell you, like, seems like you like everything and anything is viable. So, like, I mean, when people say, like, you have to play meta, like, some people will be like, no, we need a warlock that's a night fae. There's no other way around it. And we'll boot you if you're not a night fae. And you're trying to get a 15 done? Like, dog, we have logs. Every class, spec, and covenant combo. Every spec covenant combo has done a 15. there's no need for you not to be no purpose of having to bring a Nightfade Warlock. Can they do more damage than some of the others? Yes, but like a geared Nightfade Warlock, a geared Venthyr Warlock, geared Necrolord Warlock, like all of them will be really, really good, really, really strong. Like a good player really is what is going to carry you, not the Covenant. Are there some Covenants that are really strong, just slightly ahead of each other? Yes. Are there Covenants that are massively ahead of each other? Yes, when push comes to shove. But I think you don't really see a lot of that difference unless you're like really playing at the high end. We like the AoE CC and single DPS, but just in utility, AoE damage and synergy. Yeah. Like my favorite quote, boys. My favorite quote from, and this is a quote that I have marked in a have a separate Discord for notepad stuff. By the way, having a separate channel for Discord with all your notes and stuff, so you can, like, I keep track of all my video ideas and stuff and just write important links down. This is my favorite quote ever. Let me see if I can pull it up on screen. It's actually by an MDI, like a Pally, El Tharian. That's my favorite quote. So this is how I look at it. Like his words probably summarize like the way I look at stuff too. My biggest, so this is like advice of like trying to get into tanks, trying to get into plus. And he says, my biggest advice would be just to play whatever class and Covenant you enjoy. Play the most. Gather experience over time. And don't get too influenced by whatever class is considered to be the current meta. Unless you're striving to play at the highest level in the world. Be creative in finding ways to overcome weaknesses and deficits of your class and try to put emphasis on your strengths. Having fun and enjoying whatever you do is a huge part of improving. If you don't enjoy the class you're playing and you simply do it to follow a meta, you'll find yourself not improving as fast as you would in a scenario where you enjoy what you do. And that's what I really like about it. That quote. Because I vibe with that 100%. Because like finding strengths in your class, even Covenant combo, and trying to make up for your weaknesses, and having fun and finding creative ways to overcome those strengths and to weaknesses and try to, I guess, emphasize your strengths. I think that's enjoyable, personally. So when it comes to like getting key timed, like gear, your Covenant choice, even things like racial, like there's a lot of things that can be fixed, even in like raid setting. But let's take Mythic Pluses, right? In Mythic Pluses, what is going to help you get the key timed? What's the most important one? It's not going to be even your class choice. Do you know the key? Do you know the dungeon? Do you know the route? The route will be 2. But do you know the mobs? Do you know the boss mechanics? Route. Then how well do you play? Do you miss interrupts? Are you just not using CDs? There's so many things that players will be able to overcome with that alone, not even taking a look at their class combo. And then you can have things like class choices. You need a tank, you need a healing DPS. Do you need the meta ones? Not necessarily from what we've seen from like 15s, but like when you get into 20s, do you get good players? Because somebody that knows when to press interrupt and somebody that optimally presses interrupt or optimally lines up the cooldowns, I feel like it's just ahead of that, right? So this is like, if the pinky finger is kind of like the base of a triangle, the base of a pyramid is the wide base, and you kind of go up and up and up. And that probably illustrates like the bottom is the most important base. Do you have that there? Then the next line, the next line of the pyramid, and the higher it goes to the top, like a racial or like a trinket choice will be like 1 or 2% Covenant, 1 or 2% improvement performance difference, like between running one or the other. In some cases, like, are there some Covenants that are just wildly stronger than others? Yes, depending on class. But like for Rogue, it's really, really close. Does Necrolord squeeze out more damage? Yes. But does it squeeze out by a mile? Not enough. It's a little bit more, but you are talking about a spec like Outlaw that is completely the target cap. So you're able to do slightly more damage to those same 5 targets. You're not doing more AoE damage, slightly more damage to those same 5 targets. So you are getting some value there. And you don't really get that much single target value, unlike Venthyr, which has single target value, but that's also a give and take kind of thing, right? So it's something that would be like the biggest differences in terms of like the sims, how well they do, how well the damage actually perform. And there's just so many different factors, I feel like, between of like starting at the base and then when you get in towards the tippity top of like important things of like there are going to be 1 or 2% damage differences, like your choice of racial. I mean, sometimes in PvP, it's like more straightforward, like orc or human. Like, it's really, really good. Like when humans had double DPS trinkets in WoD, it was a lot more damage. You just did more damn. You had a proc trinket, you had an on-use trinket. When both of those proc together, you were just doing far more damage than a Horde. So there was a massive, massive advantage. Nowadays, I feel like that advantage is much smaller and it's more minute. It's more like minor. Like if you just take a look at the differences between Covenants and like, I guess we can take a look at Rachel's. Hero damage has a pretty decent profile of like the ratios between one another. Let's take a look at an enhancement shaman. Right, since Chicago asked about it. Like the difference between a Valpera, which is a 28% average. Actually, let's go with Inferior Totem because that's the one people usually play. Troll is like a almost 2% damage increase just for playing Troll. Maga Orc with a on suboptimal talent setup is 0.38. So the difference between them is like a 1.6 or so ish, right? About a 1.6 damage difference between the best and the worst. Again, playing suboptimal. Like we can go to Maga Orc, win Fury Totem, and then it becomes more like 1.5? Yeah, 1.4-ish? Yeah, 1.5 exactly. So 1.5% difference between them, like playing Magar and playing Troll. And that is if you're playing it like optimally. Which, like Mythic Pluses, are you going to be able to do that constantly? Not really. You're going to have mechanics. You're going to have to move it out of the way. Are you going to be able to play that in raids optimally? Not every fight is going to be a patchwork where you can just sit and hit the boss the whole time. So there might be some give and takes here and there. You know what I mean? So little things like that. You know what I mean? That's the stuff I look at. So for me, I do think there's a lot more viability. There's a lot more play styles that are out there. The one thing I will agree with players in terms of like certain Covenants is some Covenants feel good to play and others don't feel good to play, right? That is something we can agree on. Playing a Night Fae Hunter feels a lot better than playing like a Necrolord Hunter, at least in terms of PvE specifically, non-PvP at all. So Night Fae does feel better. It does have Soulbinds that synergize pretty well. It also does squeeze out a little bit more damage. Feels pretty good. If, let's say, Necrolord somehow squeezed out more damage, people would play it, but also it's a Covenant that doesn't feel that great either. And it just so turns out that Covenants that feel pretty good to play are also the ones that are right now simming slightly higher damage-wise. Except for like the rogue stuff, I feel like most rogue Covenant abilities are pretty easy because you just press a button and you don't think twice about it. But some of them are more involved in terms of what the button does, I guess. Like my Guildie, for example, my GM actually, he went from Hunter Night Fae to Kyrian to work up the renown in case he ends up going Kyrian next patch for like BM or whatever. Just want to get the renown up. And he said he didn't like it, but not as much as he didn't really like the Kyrian setup. He had to play different legendaries, so it was like kind of weird to unlearn. Also, Kyrian ability is a minute cooldown that doesn't necessarily have the same punchy power as what he plays with Night Fae, where in fights like SLG, for example, he has a bunch of adds and you got to nuke them, and now his power to be able to nuke him every 2 minutes is halved. He can do it more often, he can throw out his Kyrian arrow more often, but his power of being able to do it is halved. He can't do as much burst every 2 minutes. He does like half and half burst every minute, which is a different playstyle. Doesn't really fit what he wants to do in a fight or how he learned to fight. So maybe if he were to take the time more as a Kyrian to learn how to maximize it, he could, but it didn't work out for him in terms of how we needed to like kill the boss for the raid. It just wasn't working out super well. Also, Denathris at the end. It feels weird, not something he's used to. But the one thing he really pointed to is Night Fae has the mobility, and he uses it so much as Night Fae, and you playing as a Kyrian, he just doesn't have the same mobility anymore. So it's partially getting used to it, but also some of them just feel really, really good to play. Like some of the Covenants feel super synergetic. Like Kyrian with Paladins. Although there's Holy Paladin with Venthyr, that's pretty good. But even if you're playing Venthyr, Kyrian is really, really good too. Like that's one of those synergetic ones. It just feels really good to play. An extra button that does a lot of stuff. Plays really well into the playstyle of General Holy Power, and you get a lot of it. With whatever spec you are. So I guess it like depends how you look at the whole Covenant and like what's meta, what isn't meta. But I do think that people write off like certain specs, certain classes, certain playstyles way too quickly. Way too easily. And I feel like there's a lot more room that you can like there's a more of a ceiling that people have, more room to go up that they think. Like they think, oh, I'm a Venti Warlock, I'm never getting a 15 done. And it's like, bruh, there's Warlocks that are Venti doing 23s. Like if you really wanted to go and try hard and hit that ceiling, you could. There's a lot for you to improve upon. There's a lot you as a player can improve before you hit your ceiling. And a lot of people look at like, oh, this Covenant is easier. Look at people being able to get like 26s out of it. Vente can only do 23s. Yeah, but that's also as a skilled player. Just you going from one Covenant to the other doesn't mean you're automatically going to be able to get your 15s done. It doesn't really work out if you don't have a skilled player behind it. You know what I mean? I guess I feel like it's just people write it off too much, too quickly. And some people get it, right? Some people, they play something off meta and they perform really, really well. Other people don't really play off meta and they can't get 15s done. You know what I mean? And I heard an argument before, it's like, well, I'm pressing the same buttons as you, or as another player. Why am I not doing the same damage? It must be my Covenant. It's like, well, when it comes to rotation and like the intricacies of it all, like breaking down, simming your character, looking at the logs, improving on everything you can, there is a lot more that goes into just standing there and pressing your buttons, right? And like, I feel like I see that every single time I try a different spec on alts, because you know I have so many alts. And you know I like to play something weird, right? But like improving and maximizing the damage, I find it is a lot difficult in some classes and a lot easier on others. Some classes, CD based. You just pop things in cooldown, don't think about it. Others, you really have to line up things together and combo it together. So you have to have a different approach depending on the class, depending on the spec. And depending on which situation you're in, Mythic Pluses, depending on the situation in the raids, mechanics coming up, do I pop cooldowns now, or do I just wait for the later? You have to like adjust. You have to find ways to like look at the situation and be like, okay, so this is how I'll play out my class. And that doesn't happen so easily. And it's something I'm constantly learning since I'm playing alts all the time. But I feel like that's one thing that that's something that's missing from a lot of people that are looking to do more, but I feel like are not really able to reach their goals. Whether it is like get heroics done, get the heroic Gnathus done, kill that mythic boss, one of the first few, or maybe Sludge Fist, you know, progression guilds, or maybe people that are just trying to get their KSM for the first time, or trying to push like the first 16, 17, 18. It's like there's just some part that's missing. And I feel like too often people just write it off as, oh, it's not my problem, it's not my fault, it's the game's fault or something. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's just so much more that a player can do themselves in order to do it. But yeah. Necropal is good in PvP, but unheard in PvE. Yeah, I'm wondering how you're going to be able to play it as a prod, though, if you are going to play it next patch. You know what I mean? I've got just some classes that have Covenants that are best in all instances, like Ventir is great in PvE, kind of crap in PvP. Yeah, for Rogues, it looks like you can play whatever you want to. Rogues, like the sim difference between all the Covenants is a little different. I guess we could look at, like, what, Blood Mallet if you want to. Blood Mallet. Blood Mallet does have a, like, the build that it has, and I'll point it out to you guys. It will look, I guess it will look worse than it really is, but look, these are really, really close. All the Covenants. Like Naya, Theater for Outlaw? Like, what profile? Who runs Ghost of Striker Mark for Death? I just don't understand. You have Count the Odds. Naya, Grove, and Burrs. Okay, Burrs is a little cheese, though. Burrs is a little cheesy. Like, Burrs over Sims. So that's the profile they have. Like, it's a profile of the Blade Rush. Not a lot of people play Mark for Death. Not a lot of people play Ghost of Strike. But Legendary, they're running Celerity. Or Adrenaline Rush. If you want to run pure single target Lego, though, you'll probably go for a, if you are going to run this build, you're not going to run this Lego. Like, they don't have the proper, if you want to do pure single target build. But yeah, they have Naya, they have Theater, which I don't understand why Theater's ahead. Weird. But look, like, they have one of every Covenant has something viable and useful, right? They're all pretty close to one another. About 100 difference maybe from the worst to best. That's really not bad. But again, also the profile is a little weird and it'll be different. Take a look at the AoE. It does look like there's a bit of a gap with Necrolord being ahead quite a bit. Looks like about 1,000 difference. But also the profile doesn't change. Right, they're playing full Ghost of Strike, full Mark for Death. That's not the talents you would want to play. And that's fine, but you could actually get different. You don't have to do shoulders as 235. You could do a ring and get the Denathrius shoulders too. Which isn't bad either. These trinkets are fine. But like, Mark for Death is fine, although you don't play Ghost of Strike and Mythic Pluses. You will play Pistol Shot. Morph Death is fine, Blade Rush is fine, but can be replaced with Killing Spree, and you also can go for different Lego, like a Crit Lego and the Bracers, or you could grow the what's that new one that people have been playing recently? The Death something, the one where you vanish and you get 5 column points. Like, they don't have account for that, which is really good with the Necrolord Covenant. Like, they could go with a different legendary to account for the different playstyles, because there are builds that are going to be a little bit better. I think Hero Damage does a better job with this, actually. Except, I think Hero Damage does have it set up. Soul Binds. Okay, so it doesn't have them like you compete the Soul Binds against one another. Just like what covenants you are. Like, it shows you a little bit of like the AoE and the talents change that you would have for it. But it doesn't really show like which one of these covenants is like, it doesn't really compare the covenants against one another. I guess the only way to do is to go to combinations and you'll see the differences. But it does at least try to change the talents to the right talents with different builds. And I guess you would go full Soul Binds. You'll see Necrolord is pretty up there, and you could, I guess, write down the numbers and see what actually you can see the damage differences here, right? So they at least will have different talents. So this is a little bit more complicated to look at, but you have the Necrolord and many. With lead by example, Sudden Fractures, Count the Odds, and Mark the Master Assassin Legendary. With this talent setup, which is more better for Mythic Pluses with Dungeon Slice. About 8,566 damage. And if you go down towards all the Covenants, Kyrian shows up there pretty early on, with only a 1.4% damage loss. That's a pretty small damage loss, so you can go Kyrian pretty easily without losing out too much damage versus a Necrolord. Let me see, Necrolord, Kyrian. Where's the Fae? Does it not have Fae up here? I was pretty sure Fae would be way up here. Okay, yeah, this is why it's weird, because it's like you have to look at this right here. Necrolord, Necrolord. Look at the Covenants to see if you can find it. Kyrian, where's the Fae? I would imagine Fae would be a lot higher. Night Fae. So Fae is looking at about a 4% damage loss. 4% is such a small number, in my opinion. And that's just like Simon Dungeon Slice. It doesn't really account for like the dungeons themselves, so it's probably going to be even closer. But in like a Mythic Plus dungeon where you're constantly AoEing things and you have a prior target, then yes, that'll be kind of a different setup there. Ventier I think would be a little lower, but I don't think it would be so far low. I could be wrong on that. Where's Ventier? There we go, Nadja. 5.4. So like, you might be like, wow, that's the biggest loss ever. But the best way I think to take all this data is like you have this data right here, right? By itself, I don't think it's helpful because, again, we talked about it doesn't account for situations in the dungeons. It doesn't account for resets super well. It just takes the sim of Dungeon Slice, which has like a specified way of pulling mobs, like pull a 4-pack, then pull a 2-pack, then pull the boss, then pull a 4-pack, 5-pack, whatever it has it set up. It just runs it through that sim. It doesn't account for the individual dungeons or the individual mechanics or what the classes are about. It doesn't really account for like resets super well, or not as well as I would imagine. I mean, I guess it does account for some because Master Assassin is a legendary that recommends, so it does account for some resets, but not in the same way that a Mythic Plus would run, right? So it would be longer resets, some would be shorter. There'll be burst situations where you need to nuke down the boss or the ad that take more damage for a short amount of time. Certain codes would be better there. But I feel like taking the info from here, by itself, I think all this info isn't super helpful, but when you combine all these together, as well as from actually playing the Covenant themselves, I feel like all together you're able to see a more clear picture, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So we have so many different like bits and bobs of information that by themselves don't really serve that much of a value, but when you combine together, the truth is somewhere in the middle. You get to see more of a clear picture. In terms of what's looking good, but isn't. Watching UFC? I don't think so. Who's fighting? Do you want to have a good next patch? PvP should be better. Do you want to look better for patch? It's probably going to be good, pretty good. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, sorry for going off a tangent, boys. Sorry for going off a tangent. It's just this is the kind of stuff that I always want to talk about. Always a fan. Anyway, boys, thanks so much for coming by. Thanks so much for watching the duels. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see all of you boys on next stream. And tomorrow is Sunday, so not streaming Sunday. We're coming back Monday, getting some of our alts out of the way for the Tuesday. And hopefully Tuesday, we get some good news. But 9-1. I'll be happy, dude. I'll be glad if we did. I'll be glad if we did. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Did I save this one? I don't know if I saved this one, actually. Hold on. don't know if I saved it. But thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate all of you. Super fun hanging out with all of you and doing the duels. Super fun hanging out with the boys. Maybe we'll see some Demon Hunters next week for PTR duels. That'd be pretty cool to get some boys in there, test out different covenants, test out some new legendaries maybe, try some new stuff. But yeah, you guys have a good one, and I'll see you boys next stream. Alrighty, peace.